Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. Good morning. Breezy, Bree. Good morning, baby. I see you. Holding down your top spot. Hey, yo, them comments got me rolling, though.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Mo.
Hey, Miss Joni.
How you doing?
Good. I'm a little
Yo,
tired.
you are. The glow up is real. I can't tell you tired.
Well, thank you, Lord. I don't want to look like what I've been through. Okay.
Yo.
Joni.
Yo. Eight, yo. Yo. 8 more days, yo.
Oh, jeez. I
The
know that,
countdown.
Miss Joni. This is not an ideal countdown. Okay. This is like accepting it and we're moving forward. We're low key pretending it's not happening. So that when season 2 pops up, it's like everything
It's
is
like we never left.
like we never left.
Yo, I gotta talk to y'all too about season 2, yo.
All right, all right. Is it
Yeah.
good or do
I
I need?
mean, yeah, it's straight, you know. It's still gonna happen, but I might not see y'all. Yeah, I know, yo.
There goes another meme with my mouth open.
I know. It's all right. Y'all be all right without me. Y'all be all right. Y'all be all right.
It's fine. My Miss Joni, no.
I know.
How?
I know, yo. Because, see, this is the deal, right?
Hmm.
Because this is going to be like the first time that youth works is virtual and all that. It's like a big deal or whatever. Um, they asked me if I would train the trainers.
Okay. So
So basically, working with the trainers.
like the other people who are gonna be leading virtual.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, and that's going to be having different sites and all this stuff. So, yeah.
Watch success sessions? Can't they go on the weekend? Like I don't understand. Oh my gosh.
I know. It was a really, really, really tough decision. Like a really tough decision. But I was like, gotta go where you need it. You know what I'm saying?
That is so funny because today we're going to be talking about decision making. So I hope this slide makes you change your decision.
Yo, for real? Yo, it was a hard decision too. Yo, it was not like an easy decision at all. Like it was not an easy decision at all.
I could only,
Wow.
yeah, that was the Lord. We gonna work this thing out. Don't you worry, Miss Joni. Don't you worry. Don't worry, heartbeats. Everybody, just relax. The
Yo,
Lord is moving. He's working it out. He's stirring the pot.
it's gonna be good though. However we do it, it's gonna be good. Y'all already know. Like we
Yeah.
don't put our name on nothing that ain't A1.
Period. Period.
Yo, yes, yo, yeah. And yo, I'm so excited, yo. I'm so excited. You know Jeff, don't you?
Yes.
Yo, this man is really about to invest in some youth-owned businesses, yo.
Miss Joni,
Real life.
tell
Yep, real life. So anybody that's a part of Coach Johnson's entrepreneur class, definitely make sure you want time tomorrow because he's going to be joining that class tomorrow. And I'm also going to invite people who not a part of that class, but if you have a business, so people like Chaos Smoothies definitely need to be there. And
yeah.
I got to think of some other ones who not in his class, but they like consistent with their business because he wants to put money into youth businesses that are working with HeartSmiles.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
Yo, big deal, yo. So tomorrow, 4:15, make sure your calendar is clear. Make sure you get the link from Coach Johnson to join. And Coach Johnson, I sent him like the criteria. It's just like some basic stuff that he sent. Let me just read like a few. It's just some basic stuff. He want to know about you, your background, about your business, what your business do, what do you hope to accomplish, and if he made an investment, like what would it help, and how much money would you want to ask for?
Not how much.
How much? Yo, Jeff is the man, yo. How this man said, how much do you want, yo?
Jeffrey Leak at the professor of biostat, he is a great man.
Ain't he?
He really wants to help. Oh my gosh, that blesses my heart. Y'all get all these opportunities because you are so deserving. Show up, show out. Because
Exactly.
it's just Jeff today, but tomorrow you don't know who else and how much do you want? That's unheard of.
Unheard of. Yo, he sent HeartSmiles on the humble out of his own pocket, him and his wife on the humble, just sent HeartSmiles 5,000. Like, here, I love what you're doing. Here you go. On the humble, yo. Didn't even tell me he was doing it or nothing. Like, I just opened up the mailbox and was like, huh?
God is so good.
On the humble, yo. I love people like that. Ain't doing it for the glory, ain't doing it for the attention, just doing it because you really just believe in the cause and what's happening. And he was all like, yo, I know of any young entrepreneurs working with you, they doing it the right way. And that's where I want to put my money. And I'm like, yep.
Miss Joni, my chest.
Yo, every entrepreneur, y'all better be on that call tomorrow. Y'all better hit up Coach Johnson for that link.
Honestly, this is your time, honey. Get to Zoom popping. That's a Zoom meeting you want to be on.
That's the meeting you want to be on, y'all. And Coach Johnson kids already about to get ready to compete for their prizes. So somebody gonna get 500 and somebody gonna get 300. And I think he might have a 1 or 200. But I'm just like, yo, at this point, you ain't got no excuses, yo.
No excuse. I'm about to get myself together too, y'all. Let me, Miss Simone, hold me accountable. Because if I don't get to this bag, it's not good.
You get into the bag. You about to be Dr. Sawyer out here, yo. You get into the biggest bag ever. Yeah, no.
But still, we need multiple. There is really, because I know a lot of the time that in business it seems scary because there's a lot of unknowns. But once you put that hard work, I'm sure you can attest to this even more, Miss Joni. It is nothing like having your own business. And for all the people that the devil is trying to whisper in your ear, nobody's gonna buy your stuff. That is a lie. If there's one thing people know how to do, is spend their silly money, okay? And there's so many people in this world. There are so many people in this world. So
Exactly.
many. So don't think just locally. Like you could, oh, okay.
Exactly. Yo, I love it, yo. I love, yo, guess who holding the top spot, yo? She like, she ain't letting it go. Yo, we like, 8 more days, I'm in there. Yo, that's what you call ownership, yo. Bree, yo, that's the epitome of ownership, when you just do something and you just do it. And that's what you're famous for. That's what you're known for. You in your own lane. Ain't nobody getting in that lane, yo. She like, look, you might be speeding beside me, behind me, on the left side, right side, but you ain't in my lane, though.
You are not getting in front of me. Oh,
Not at all. Yo, good morning, Breezy Bree. Chaos Smoothies. Cam, what's up? Good morning. Micaiah, good morning. Thank you so much, Micaiah, for being so inspirational.
That was powerful.
That was very powerful. Taylor, good morning, Taylor. Ma, the general, y'all, that manager, yo, the manager been here, y'all.
Let's go, Mark. Get us together.
Let's go. Good morning, Sam. Sam on a consistent tip, y'all. I love it, y'all. Hey, Sam. Good morning. Baby Barack, is you dry today, yo? Didn't I tell you, yo?
Every time it's John, you gotta redeem yourself, baby. I believe in you because this is you were baby Barack. Let's go.
Yo, he ain't no Barack no more, yo. You can't even give him that, yo. He was so dry, yo. Yo,
It was an off day. It was an off day.
That wasn't no daggone off day, y'all. He knew exactly what he was doing, y'all. but but his conference, Miss Mo is going to host a watch party. So
Oh,
we'll get to watch Cam. We know we ain't worrying about her. We know she's gonna be good. She's gonna bring the heat.
absolutely.
And we're gonna watch Mr. Dry on the watch party. So y'all gotta get the Zoom link from her. We're gonna get the date and time and everything narrowed down. But yo,
Miss Joni, it's
all I'm saying is, yo, put some butter on your biscuit, yo.
yeah.
Put some butter on your biscuit, yo.
I cannot eat a dry biscuit.
Yo, exactly.
That's so dangerous.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, how your whole mother is Beyonce. You got the whole beehive, yo, and you come out like a cricket.
We need some honey on the biscuit too.
Exactly, yo. Some jelly or something, yo.
Miss Joni, let's go. Let's go.
Yo. Good morning, Jamira. Good morning, King Core. Hey, Angel. Good morning. Keon, what's up? Good morning, Keon.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, Summer. Good morning. Yo, I don't see Ari. Coach Johnson, what's up, Coach Johnson? Normally, Summer and Ari be like right neck and neck.
Exactly. And Shalaw's up early. We love to see it.
Shala is up early, yo. OGQ, what's up? Good morning. Hey, Illmatic. What's up? Good morning. Elder, what's up, Elder? Good morning. They had a powerful session yesterday.
About
Miss Simone. Yeah. Even though Ma kept calling it separation. But it was so powerful. It was so powerful. Y'all did a great job. Ma, Lene, Elder, shout out to y'all. Hey, Ma, my mother over here, y'all. Good morning, Ma. Hey, Ania, what's up, Ania? Good morning. Hardcore, good morning, Hardcore. Amaya. Yo, y'all see I'm going through it over here with this cat,
I
y'all.
know, we're trying to love on you.
Don't mind, yo. I'm about to throw her. Hey, Chris. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Kamaya Success Sessions. What's up, baby? Good morning. I think that's our folks.
All right. We love it.
Oh, James on here, yo. Yo, congratulations to the graduate, yo. We was riding past acting a whole fool. Congratulations, Jay, and good morning.
I love it. Come on, King. James is going to be amazing. All of y'all. I'm like, let's get the autographs now before y'all get real energy and you don't have time for Miss Simone anymore. Miss gotta schedule me. Oh man, this is good. Well, all right, y'all. Today we are going to talk about decision making because I feel like it's a relevant topic all the time, especially in my life right now. There's some decisions I need to make, so I figured we might as well talk about it together. So the first thing I want us to play a little game called This or That. Shout out to the General because we did this on Spiritual Sunday and I really love this. So there are going to be two options. You can only pick one and just say like a short why, Miss Joni, like why you picked it. It doesn't have to be long and everybody can put in the comments their answer and their why, okay? All right, so if you only had to choose breakfast or dinner, which one would you pick?
I'm gonna pick breakfast.
Why?
Just because breakfast is probably the most consistent thing that I do. Like I'll skip dinner before I skip breakfast. I
agree. I'm gonna pick breakfast because I feel like you can eat anything well, not anything, but I just love like I love a pancake, a waffle, a biscuit, a French toast, a bacon, an egg, a steak and eggs. It's just the whole, if you want a burrito, a breakfast burrito. If you want it, you got it. All right.
Taylor said dinner. Keon said breakfast.
Okay.
Keon said dinner. The General said dinner.
What y'all cooking for dinner? I need to know what y'all
They got McDonald's, Miss Simone.
I don't want it. We'll make breakfast, Miss Joni. It'll be good. All right, hot or cold?
Hot all day.
Really?
I can't stand to be cold.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I agree. But I just sweat so easily, and that's what I don't like to be sweaty. Just I'm a
I'd
make
rather sweat. I can't be cold. I even still got my heater right here, even though I don't need it, just in case if I do need it. It's like right here.
on deck.
John said cold.
Cold, John.
General said cold. Mira said cold. Everybody said cold. Taylor said cold.
Okay, my
Oh,
Baltimore.
Keon and Anita said hot.
Okay.
Cam
Oh,
said cold.
sweet or salty?
I'm gonna say sweet.
Yeah, me too.
Only because I think about sweet potato pie.
You know that's near and dear to your heart. Okay. Baby Barack, you might want to send a sweet potato pie soon, in addition to redeeming yourself.
Baby dry. I don't even want that dry sweet potato pie you got.
I can't. All right, music or money?
Ah, you got me, Miss Simone. Give me my coins, though. I love music, but give me my coins. Give me my coins.
Shawty said I need it paid in full. Okay.
Just run me my coins. Run me my coins. Oh man, that was a hard one.
No, me too. That I was like, dang, I don't even know myself. I
Yo,
feel
Ari, the only one said music, yo. Oh, Taylor said music too.
yeah. I was gonna say for some reason I feel like music, but I know at the end of the day, I'm gonna just hopefully have friends that have money, and then I'm gonna do the music.
Dang.
It's nice to stay. Okay, beach or like somewhere in the mountains with a nice view.
Dang, they both really nice, but I'm gonna say the beach just because I love the water and not no man-made beach. Put me on the coast,
I
the
agree.
Atlantic or the Pacific.
Absolutely. I need the water to be like that clear blue. Let me see the sand and the rocks underneath. I'm definitely a beach baby.
Exactly. Oh, everybody saying beach. Mars saying beach. Karen said beach. Keon. Taylor said the mountains. I love the mountains, but definitely the beach. Oh, Miss Mo on here. Hey, Miss Mo. She said the beach.
Oh, yes. All right, HeartSmiles trip to the beach, Miss Joni. Just dropping the plug.
Yo, you picked the music. We ain't got no money.
No, Miss Joni, this is why you do. Let me stop. Okay, chicken box or a cheesesteak?
Come on now. Chicken box, yo, from Chicken Paws. Yo, what? From Sonny's. From the Junction. Chicken box, salt, pepper, extra ketchup, all over. And if the establishment hasn't had at least like 6 citations from the health department, I don't want it.
Not 6 citations, Miss Joni.
At least, minimum.
Honestly. In Georgia, like in Atlanta when I was in college, so they do ratings like A, B, C, and the best Waffle Houses had like the B, C rating. I'm like, it needs to be a little struggle in the food. It makes it better. Like,
Yes.
I think I would pick a chicken box too. I can't lie. I love some chicken. It's a shame.
I know. I know. Yeah. Salt, pepper, extra ketchup all over y'all. And don't give me no Western fries. Just give me the regular fries.
See, oh yeah, I was gonna say I was learning so much. Okay, so I remember the first time I heard somebody say salt, pepper, ketchup. I was like, huh? So can you write it down, please? And I love all of those things, but I don't like my food to be messy. I like it like I don't mind if my food touches, but I want to dip. I like to control everything. Like I'm the person that takes the ketchup packet and puts it on every fry. So
See, I
that
do that with everything except the chicken box.
yeah.
Not the chicken box. Like I'll empty my packets on the side, take my fork, get my fry, and then dip it, except the chicken box.
What
And
is
give me a large diabetes.
please a large, okay? Get me through the day. Oh man. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for playing. Just a quick something fun to get our juices flowing and warmed up to talk about decision making. I like that game because it's low stakes, right? Like usually when we make decisions, some of the hardest ones are big decisions, that stress you out and it's way more to lose. So it's easy to have the low stakes ones. And I just want to let everyone know you make decisions every day. Some of them take a lot of thought, some of them don't. So be confident that, you're making decisions already, and you'll start to see a pattern in your life about good decisions versus bad decisions when you look up and you're like, is this where I want to be? Is this not where I want to be? And then that goes into your decisions. But just the opening question, or what are some things that influence your decision making? Miss Joni, what about you?
I mean, just when I think about it off the top, so whether or not it's something that's doable,
Mhm.
um, whether or not it's like within my range of things that I can do, because I'm not one of those people who feel like I can do all things. I feel like that they are experts in like certain things. Um, like why is always a big question too. Like, why am I even doing this? Like, is there some type of value that's going to come out of it? Is it going to help me or help somebody else?
Mhm.
Um, and then I guess just overall, like what's the benefit? Like, what's the benefit? And I believe in making decisions like as soon as you can. Some things can't be rushed. Some things you got to take time and think about or whatever. But I don't want to prolong it. The faster I can decide, the faster things can get moving. So I like to hold myself accountable to making decisions as soon as I can. And not deciding is a decision too.
Mm. Let's talk about it. Staying in limbo or just not making a decision is a decision. I like that. I was thinking about that. I was making the slides. But I really like your points, Ms. Joni. Y'all, I wrote them down. I'm going to repeat them because you got to get these jewels, okay? This is for all of us. When I be making the slides, it's really because I want to pick Ms. Joni's brain. Okay, so when you're making decisions, you need to ask why, why am I doing this? Is this doable? Um, and if not, do you look for resources or try to make it work? If not, no. And then what's the benefit? Got it. Yeah, because right now when I make decisions, it definitely is like, the why is always a core, like, is this like align with my values? Is this gonna, benefit other people that I want to help and serve? Is this gonna add value to my life and what I say I'm doing and working on? But I can't lie. A lot of the times, because I value people's opinions too, I'm like a people person, so maybe a little too much. I think I let people's opinion get in the way of my decision making a little too far, where it goes to like now I just like, well, what do they think? And what do they think? When at the end of the day, I have to own my decision because I'm the only one that's going to follow through with it. So I'm working on that. Um, and then I also let my future goals kind of guide a lot of my decisions too. Like, what is this gonna look like in the future? I'm like, ooh, I think I'm really becoming an adult now because it's a lot less risky. Everything is like, wait, huh? Who? Like, who's gonna say what is the consequence? So, do the heartbeats have anything? What influences their decision making?
Yeah. So Cam said my goals and vision. Taylor said who will it affect?
Mm,
OGQ said what I need and what I want.
I like,
Baby Dry said what I feel like would benefit me the most.
yeah.
Jamira said for me, it would be the consequence and what would happen after. Like, will it affect my life or haunt me? Mm.
Mm,
The
good.
manager said my mindset and my goals. Kamaya said I'm currently having to make a bunch of hard decisions I have to make and are in the process of making, and I really subconsciously make them. Reese
Yeah.
said, do I need it or how will it benefit me in the long run?
Oh, I like that. Oh, that's good, y'all. Thank you for sharing. Do I need it? That's a good one. I'm writing that down too, Bree. Thank you. So these are just I tried to categorize them because I feel like there's so many things that can influence our decisions in all different directions. But I feel like at the end of the day, and I gotta shout out my sister because I was brainstorming with her, we came with these 4 categories. that really can influence your decision making is, so it's time. And like you said, Michelle, it's really a healthy balance because usually like the research says that like the quicker you make a decision, the better, because it like reduces all of that outside influence, distraction, procrastination, and you can just do it, you know, and then see what happens after. But then, so you don't want to procrastinate too much, but you also don't want to rush and just like jump into things without taking your time to think about some of the consequences. Do I actually need this? How will this benefit my future and my goals? And so there's a professor at Hopkins, her name is Terry Powell, and she's one of my mentors when I was like thinking about should I go to graduate school or not. And she was like talking with me through some of the like we'll go to get my PhD. And she's like, well, honestly, Simone, at this point, it seems like you have enough information. It seems like you might be in decision paralysis. I was like, what is that? I was like, do I need to go to the doctor? Like, what? But pretty much it's just when you get to the point where you have all that you, and you just need to do it. Like now you're being stuck in your decision and you're not making any decisions. And so that time piece is really a healthy balance. You want to be aware of like, how much time is it taking me to make this decision? It's better for me to just like do something, say something than procrastinate it or just rush and not think. And so then people can also influence your decisions. So who else does this impact? I think someone else said that, like, how will this impact others? It could be your family, your friends, people that you work with, like, how is this going to impact them? And I feel like a lot of the times we make decisions based off our emotions, which can be like healthy and unhealthy, just like with anything in life. You got to have some nice moderation and some wisdom and discernment about how you're making decisions based on people and how those emotions might be blinding you from certain things. And so then there's also importance. So what is the value? Like, is this really an important decision? Like, you know, is it low risk? Like how we just played that game. No one's going to get in trouble. No one's going to hurt. It's your opinion. So the value is not that, but there's some decisions that you feel like will make or break. You know, these are really important, like what college you're going to go to, or, you know, if you're going to be able to stay on success sessions for the season. Let me stop. Let me stop. Like for me, one big decision that's been hard, especially in coronavirus, like my school, I'm going to be going to school in DC, but with all the coronavirus and stuff, I'm like, do I need to move right now? Or should I just stay at home and wait? Should I save money? Is the commute, you know, like these are kind of high stakes. And these are kind of things that also have to test like your morals and your care, like, you know, really let that why kind of guide the importance factor. And then there's impact. And this is like Jameer said, I like the risk, like how would this affect me now and later? What is going to be the impact of this decision? So if you can kind of put these 4 categories as you're thinking of your decisions to help you just kind of think through things, it's good to just get it outside of your head and really have a layout and a template of you know, what's to come, what you're thinking, so that you can make your decision. So these are just some personal tips. If you guys have any other tips, Miss Joni, especially you, give us some jewels. I was doing some research and I came up with this. So the first one is, like I said, write it down. How much time do I have to make this decision? Who are the people involved that might be impacted by this decision? And put yourself in there too. What is the importance of this decision? Like, you know, is it like really, really serious? And that can help you figure out how much time you need to spend on it as well. And then what is the impact of this decision, like that it's going to make on my life? Give yourself time. And of course, like Miss Joni said, don't take too much time. Like be real with yourself. Maybe set a deadline for when you're going to make the decision. And a lot of times people will set deadlines for you, but make sure you're comfortable. Like a lot of the times I'm trying to do a better job of like thinking about it. A lot of the times you feel like you have to respond really quick, but don't let people rush you into making a decision. You know, like you know yourself best. You're the one who's going to have to own it and live with it at the end of the day. So if you need a few hours to think about it, if you need a day, that's fine. Just let people know, and then make sure you stay by your commitment when you say you're going to let people know what you decide. And then as you're taking that time, you know, consider, oh, sorry guys, that's my email. Consider what your goals are in life, and make sure that your decisions are aligning with your goals. You want to gather some information and make sure you're separating the facts from the opinions, because I feel like this is what kind of gets people in limbo. Like, be very clear about what is an actual fact. Like, this is what I know will happen, or this is happening, versus people's opinions of what they think will happen, what usually happens. And just like I said, kind of use that wisdom and discernment to kind of lay out those two things. And then another thing is try to stay open minded. And this is hard for me because I feel like a lot of the times we go into a decision kind of already knowing, because we lean into that next bullet point, which is you lean into your instinct. A lot of the times we already have like a first gut reaction about what we want to do. And then we go ask people for their advice, but you're not going in with an open mind. So it's like, what is the point? I think we talked about this with how to give and receive feedback. Like, don't be asking too many people if you know good and well you're not going to take their advice. You got to just own your decision and go with it. But if you are going to ask, really be open and listen. And then there is something to this, like your instinct gut feeling. That usually I feel like a lot of the times, I don't know if you guys know, but they say in tests, like standardized test scores and stuff, they say it's best to like choose your answer. Like they say, don't go back. Because a lot of the times when people go back, they start overthinking, they change their answer and it's the wrong answer. So that could be the same with your life too. It's just a healthy balance. You don't want to be living life, everything just off the instinct, off the fly. But just if you find a healthy balance between reflecting and listening to that instinct, you might be all right. And then, all the prayer warriors, you got to pray. That really helps me a lot to have peace with my decisions. Because a lot of the times, you're not going to know everything. You're not going to get everything right. But at least if you can pray and try to get some guidance, that helps me. And then the last thing is just make the decision. Like, don't just sit in it and not do anything and keep going back and forth and changing your mind. You have to remember, I know, God, it's hard for me too. I'm learning that life is not just so linear. Like, it's just a straight line. It's not always black and white. Like, you feel like if you make this decision, this is going to be the end of everything and you have to live by the decision. There are times for you, if you make a bad decision, you can move forward even in that bad decision. Some are more drastic than others, and it's going to take you a long time to bounce back from it, but you can always bounce back. So that's something that helps me when I'm like getting a little too stuck. I have to remember, like, Simone, relax. This is like, life is so much bigger than this one decision. You got to do something, take calculated risk. If you reflected, you think about it, just make the decision, and then we're going to figure it out one step at a time. But don't just, nothing is life or death. Well, I guess, I don't know. Just, you guys know what to do when it comes to that. So how do you make the right decision? And I put right because it has some quotes on it, because everybody's path and journey is very different. But I feel like there are just some nuggets that if you start incorporating in your life, it can help you really start to do what's right for you. So like we said, most people heavily rely on just their instinct and their tuition. This can be really good or bad. Like, y'all have to be smart. You're getting to the age where you know what's good and bad just from a basic core level. And then especially what's good or bad for you, your body, the environment you're in, the situation you're in. So definitely start to like trust yourself and lean into like the things that you know, but don't do it too much and just be doing risky things just because you're just out on the fly and you're just doing all this stuff. Try to give yourself time, and you can always make a pros and cons list, which I know sounds very elementary, but it's really helpful. Like, there's a method to the madness, y'all. Like, getting those ideas out of your head and putting them on paper, and you can really see, and like literally, if the pros are shorter than the cons, you probably don't need, like, this is just fact, straight up fact. This is how you separate the facts from the opinion. Then you can do a risk analysis too, which is pretty much like, what are the risks of me doing this? Are these good risks? Like, um, maybe the risk of staying up late to study, but you're going to be tired in the morning, but you're studying, these are good risks. So maybe that's a little risk I'm going to take to just try to get up a little bit extra studying, knowing that I'm going to have to give up some sleep. What are some other risks? When people, like, they invest in the stock market, or some of y'all be trying to get into this Forex. Okay. So If you go into Forex and you have to put in $200, like, what is the outcome of this? Am I going to be able to make that money back? Do I have $200 in my account? If like sometimes, oh, when you're borrowing money or people try to borrow money from you, I always say, if I never see that money again, I have to be okay. Like, if this is something that's really going to hold me back, I'm going to be pissed every time I hear your name. I can't give it to you. I cannot, because that means I don't have it. I'm trying to think of some other risky stuff. I'm sorry, y'all.
Babies.
I was gonna say sex and not and not wearing protect. I'm telling you, that 5 minutes of fun does not account. And yes, 5 minutes, because y'all are babies. So 5 minutes of fun for a lifetime. A life. A whole life. Okay. It's not, and I know it's hard. It is hard because you're in the mood, but you got to do something. You have to really try to put that brain cap on and remember that there is more than just today. Okay, and then seek advice from trusted sources. Really try to, if you're gonna ask people for advice, really, really, really use wisdom and discernment about, have they been through this already? Where are they at now in their life? Can they help me? Can they share? And then at the end of the day, you have to be true to yourself, because you're the person walking this journey out. You're the only person that like sees life the way you do, and you're the one who's going to have to own the decision at the end of the day. um, we all have support systems and networks, but like, if you're in jail, you're the only one in jail with you. It's not your support network. Maybe they're coming in after for some silly mistakes, but at the end of the day, it's your decision. So these are just some things. So here's a question for everybody. How do you know if you made the right decision? Because I feel like this is always on people's mind. Like, I don't know. And I guess for me, I always say hindsight is 2020, which that means like it's easy to talk about what you could have done, what you should have done. But the whole point of decision making is like you have to be forward thinking. Um, and so that's why you have to use those tips. And when you make these decisions, some of them will be quick decisions, some of them you'll have time, but every decision, it counts. So, Miss Joni, how do you know if you made the right decision?
I know if I made the right decision because I will see the value and I'll see the benefit. And even if it's not apparent, I can see a pathway towards like whatever the value is or whatever that benefit may be. And that's not to be confused though with a decision that's uncomfortable, because sometimes a decision is going to be uncomfortable. It doesn't mean that it was the wrong decision. You could have still did the right thing. It just means that whatever that situation was. But that's how it is for me in terms of like when I know that I made the right decision.
I love that. It's reminding me of like looking at the fruits of your labor. Like, there's a lot of analogies in the Bible where they talk about a tree, and like a tree that's like rooted in their values and their morals and their God. It's like a tree that's strong at the roots. And so then it produces fruit. And sometimes it'll get uncomfortable because you might have to prune some things off. There are some dead ends on the tree. No tree is perfect. No person is perfect. So you might have to cut off those things like fear or distractions, cut it off. Yeah. And it'll be uncomfortable for a little bit because you're getting cut. But when you cut that dead piece off, it's an opportunity for a new, bigger, brighter fruit to come. So I like that. There's a saying that says like, check the fruit like of your decision. So is this bearing more fruit? Are there seeds growing? Now there's another apple tree, like just be attentive. So I'm writing that down. Thank you, Miss Johnny. Do the heartbeats have anything?
Yo, yes, it's a bunch of comments. Let me read some. And while I'm getting to them, yo, shout out to Lene. She's sharing the link. So welcome, Mr. Charles. Welcome, Mr. Wheeler, and whoever else that Lene done put on, because that's just how she do, our little baby activist.
Yeah. Shout out to Lene and welcome everybody.
Yes, we love new people, y'all. Make sure y'all show them all the love. Elmatic had an interesting comment. She said, my anxiety tries to trick me into making easy decisions. OGQ said, I always pray when making a big decision, and how I feel afterwards helps me to make the decision. Kamaya Success Sessions agreed that prayer is good.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Jamira said, if my mind isn't running after I'm at peace, once it's over, then I'll learn something from it. Chaos Smoothie said the aftermath. And Baby Dry said, if it doesn't work out, if I can still see the potential, then I know I made the right decision. And Lene said, my gut doesn't hurt and my mind isn't overthinking.
That's good, y'all. That's really good. And I gotta go back to Ice and the anxiety piece because that's true. It'll overtake you too. It's like that worrying, overthinking, anxiety go hand in hand. And so I would just suggest I'm not a clinical psychologist yet, but I would say like helping to put deadlines for yourself and reminding yourself that, as long as you're being true and open and like coming to your decision with the open heart, um, it's not a dead end. Like, don't think of things as so absolute. Like, every decision matters. I'm starting to, after this conversation, I'm like, the small decisions matter just as much as the big decisions, because it's like your day by day discipline, right, Miss Joni, that we talk about. But don't get so stuck. Like, just think of it sometimes as like, how you pick out an outfit that wasn't that good, and people might say some stuff, it's not cute, but you can put on another outfit another day. And it goes back to your mindset and how you're thinking about the world. And if you're in a space where you're trying to be open to learning and growing and never giving up despite what goes on, that's already, I feel like, a key to success about, making good decisions. So thank y'all for sharing. All right. So, how do you know if you made a bad decision? These are just some things that I was thinking about in my life. If I'm still stressed after I made the decision, and stressed in a negative way, like, oh gosh, okay, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? With like paranoid, like when y'all are out and you're doing something bad, you lying to your parents and you're like, oh crap, she's calling or he's calling. The police, look out, like. We've all been there, done that. So those are kind of when you just paranoid a little bit. If you feel regret along the way, like constantly, like, oh gosh, again, when there's pain and tears. And then I guess also when when you're like not making a decision, but like Ms. Jones said, that is a decision. So you're letting it linger, like you kind of know what you need to do and you're staying in it and it's not serving you or helping you in any way, not speaking up and making another decision to say, okay, this isn't right for me and I need to get out of this quickly, is kind of another indicator that maybe this is like a bad decision. Y'all have any others? Y'all kind of talked about it.
Yes. Can I add one more onto this, Miss Simone?
Absolutely.
Like, you definitely know that you made a bad decision when, because of that decision, now you got a mountain of other tough decisions to make in the climb. And I'm not trying to pick on the people with babies. Y'all going to be great parents. We want to make sure of it. But y'all at that age where this is relevant. Nobody's saying that you're not going to be a good parent, but it is okay to wait. And like Miss Simone said, make that small decision now. So then that way you don't have to have all these obstacles that would not be in your way from that decision. And I don't think people understand, like that part. It's like people want to complain about the mess that they in. Now you got to decide where you want to live. You got to decide whether you got to work 3 or 4 jobs because the 2 jobs ain't doing it. You got all these other decisions to make, but those decisions now are extra heavy because you failed to make one small, smart decision.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Miss Joni. Oh, this conversation was, I needed this. I don't know about y'all, but I needed this. It's just a good reminder because I feel like sometimes we just be letting life pass us by. And it's like, it really is a balance because you don't want to be so like, in your mind about every decision that you're getting anxious and you can't. But definitely if you're intentional and really, just intentionality goes a long way, and just just really thinking and being real with yourself and what you know. Um, and knowing that like you deserve the good life that you want to live, and are these decisions going to help me to live the good life that I want to live? I was listening to this podcast clip today, and she was saying like you playing small and like making reckless care by decisions doesn't help the world. And that, I love stuff like that because it reminds me like it definitely doesn't help you, but it also doesn't help the world when you're just staying like mediocre. You're just not caring about your life because you are here for a purpose. Like you have a story, you have a gift and a talent that the world needs. So you just sitting in stuff, making reckless decisions, careless things because just because, it's not helpful to anybody or yourself. So thank you for sharing that last point, Miss Joni. And I said we got to talk about how to bounce back from bad decisions, because I feel like another thing, a lie, we say the path to success is failure, right? So you're bound to make some kind of bad decisions, some mistakes. So don't get caught up. Nobody is perfect. But what you don't want to do is sit in it and let me, like Michelle said, now it's all these other big decisions, and now it's just bad decision after bad decision after bad decision until you are to the point where now you have a longer period of time before you really can make a new life decision that puts you where you want to be. So things that help me to bounce back is just admit it. I messed up. Nobody is too good for I'm sorry and I messed up. It is so freeing, y'all, to just be like, give it away and be like, yep, that wasn't my best. And this is how I'm doing things now. And I say apologize if necessary, because sometimes it's not always necessary. But if you feel like there's apology that is necessary, please say it. It goes a long way to say I'm sorry. And then really rethink about where things went wrong, and maybe you could have done something better. And it doesn't have to be like a whole thing, but just be real with yourself and be like, you know what? In that moment, I could have just thought about this a little different, or I could have listened to what they said, or I could have been more attentive. I could have studied a little bit harder, and then start setting boundaries for how you are going to like make sure that you don't do those things again, and being realistic about it. So like, okay, so on my health journey, it's been rough for your girl in quarantine, okay? I have some tangerines here. I'm trying to do better. I really am. It's not so much the eat, it's like I really got to get outside. And now my hair is laid. I don't want to sweat. So it's like, but I have to act, I really have to work out. So I have to start setting boundaries with myself. Like, Simone, don't go in that kitchen past 8 o'clock. It's nothing good for you in there. I can't just be like, oh, I went wrong because I know I ate that ice cream. But what are you going to do so you don't do that again? I have to put boundaries on myself. I have to set boundaries so other people know how they can support my life and my decisions, or else I'm going to be in the same mess up here, like, dang, and feeling sorry for myself or the world when it's my decision that I'm making every day to do this. And I go, no, good and well, it's not helping me. Okay. I just had to say that. So set realistic boundaries for how you can really figure out not to do the things that don't help you or serve you. How can you not do that again? Especially with relationships too, like with y'all love and friendships and toxic relationship. If you keep getting in the same bad relationships and you have to set boundaries for yourself and other people. You have to be real with those warning signs. You have to be like, you know what? I'm not going to talk to people after if the opposite people that I'm, interested in that I love past like 10 o'clock, because it's nothing good for me. I'm going to, after 10 o'clock, I'm going to make sure I go to sleep every night, whatever it is. But you got to set some like real goals for yourself to make sure you don't stay in patterns of bad decision making. And then strategize for the future. If you need to rework some goals, you need to redo some things, you need to ask some questions so you can get a new plan. Maybe you've made a life altering decision. Even in that, like Michelle said, if you're about to have a child at a young age, that's okay, but you have to be serious and plan for the future. You can't do things as you were going to do. You have to add in some extra supports. So really strategize for that stuff. Like, I think a lot of the times we mess up, like this will be for my boys with sports, you know, like people don't just come out there. Yeah, they're naturally talented and they can play basketball or football. But if you're coming together for a team and you really want to win the game, you have a playbook, right? Like you have some plays, you have some tricks, you have something. Do that for your life too. Don't just come out on the field winging it because it's easy. The person who has the playbook is going to have better chances at winning than the person who's winging it. And then if you do have a bad mistake, once you get comfortable sharing your story, you know, and you had time to process, share it with others so we can learn. Because I feel like a lot of the times people get stuck and they think they're just bad and they can't come back from any decision because they feel like they're the only one. When we're all walking around with stuff that we could have done, should have done better, and especially if you've overcome that and now you're on the other side, share it with others so people can have a pathway, a glimmer of hope of like, dang, they did that, but now this is where they are. I have no excuse. I can do it too. And really try to help mentor the next generation so that they don't have to make some of the same mistakes we did. And so my jewel for the day is the only bad decisions are the ones you don't learn from. And I don't know if someone else said it, so I couldn't take full credit. I was like, but I'm pretty sure I came up with this today when I was making the last slide. But just in case someone else said it, with the help of others. But that really, I feel like is going to help me lead my life. Or like the only bad decisions are the ones that you don't learn from. Like everything in life, is going to be kind of like trial and error. So really reflect, think about what you're doing, and then do it.
Yo, I love it, Miss Simone. And a lot of what you said too, about, making the right decisions when you commit yourself to it is why I'm so much of a disciplined person, because it's easy to be motivated, even like with your health goals, to be able to say, yeah, I want to be healthy. I want this healthy lifestyle. And you motivated for a moment, but then once you get that ice cream in the freezer, then it's just like, bye, motivation out. Yeah, bye, baby, with the motivation. But discipline ain't gonna care what's in the freezer. Yeah. Discipline is gonna say, no, you committed to this, and this is what we gotta stick to. So that's like a prime example for why I'm such a big disciplined person. Because I'm like, you can't depend. Motivation will leave you high and dry.
Every time.
Every single time.
I am by myself.
Yo, all the time. And Baby Dry had a comment too. He was saying that when he make bad decisions, it overwhelms him and he shut down. And then he's like, he temporarily gives up. And then it seems like soon after that, he starts making careless decisions. And he said that what he found that helps is to slow down and isolate himself for a certain period of time.
All right, Baby Bra, I like that. You gotta just like don't shut down. When you take that time to isolate, make sure it's intentional time. Because I feel like a lot of times we isolate, we shut ourselves down, and we start doing bad self-talk and self-defeat. As long as you're going into isolation with like real helpful goals to get yourself back, have some affirmations to remind yourself that you are worthy, that you are capable, you can do it, and this is how you're gonna do it. I feel like that's good isolation. But yeah, it's hard. It is hard.
It is. And I mean, I would say turn up. Like when you know that you've done something the wrong way or whatever, switch your mind to think, okay, now I got to work double time, overtime to get myself out of it, to make it right. Because like falling back and not doing anything just allows for the buildup, and it doesn't necessarily help. So like, yeah, no. And I made a couple notes too, Miss Simone, on my
come on, Miss Jones.
On my whiteboard. Just only a couple. The first one is, don't allow fear to decide for you. Because a lot of people, especially when they making like those big decisions, it's like you being in the car, but you letting fear drive the car and you just in the passenger seat. Like, no. Fear can be in that passenger seat if that's how you live your life. Like, that's totally normal, but you should always be driving. So even if you are afraid, still make your decision, boot shaking and all, still make your decision and own that decision. My second note is reverse that decision if you need to. Kind of like how we were talking about earlier. Don't feel like you are stuck. Yes, you want to be a person of your word. Yes, you want to be a person that's reliable and dependable. But more than anything, know when you got to make a U-turn and make the U-turn, and don't delay on making that U-turn if you need to. And then my last one is take advice from other people, but decide for yourself. Because too many times when people take advice, now they want to put the accountability on the other person if it don't work out the way that it was supposed to. Like, oh, well, you told me to do this, or oh, well, I listened to such and such. No, listen. You're supposed to listen to them, but then also make an informed decision. And regardless of what happens, you own that, and just thank people for their advice and not try to hang the burden on them because it's your weight to carry.
Woo! Miss Joni. That is good stuff right there. Y'all,
thank you, Miss Simone.
This whenever you feel like when you have these decisions, they're always gonna come back and listen to this because I know I'm going to be. It's helpful. And we're all going through it at all different phases and stages of our lives. But we gotta own it. And we can't let fear drive, and we gotta reverse as soon as you know that this is not. Turn that bad boy around. Find the quickest you turn. Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Simone. Yo, Kamai keeps talking about she's scared. She's terrified of becoming an entrepreneur. Yo, get that fear out your heart, yo. Fear has no place in your heart. Not in your heart. No.
Trust me. Though it's there, but put it to the back. Fear is always gonna be there, but don't let it stop you.
Exactly. Yo, our time.
No.
This was a great session. Thank you, Miss Simone.
Thank you. Y'all be blessed. Have a good day. Stay safe. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.
10 o'clock.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you, Miss Simone. Y'all, Miss Simone always come with the fire topics, y'all. We got Mr. Wes Moore coming up, y'all. I'm so excited for this. I think the general said that he's actually reading his book in class. So I'm super excited to talk to him. And I think Oprah and HBO are about to make a movie out of his book too. So we got a whole lot to talk about, y'all. So take a quick break. Be right back in 3 minutes, right at 11 with Mr. Wes Moore. Hey, y'all. We are back. We are back. We got Mr. Westmore coming in a second, y'all. Just waiting for him to join us. Man, shout out to Miss Simone for the fire conversations all the time, man. I love it. And decision making is so, so important, and definitely one of those things that can hold people back. If it's not something that you take seriously, especially when it's time for you to do big things. But Renee, our activist, sharing that success session link. I hear you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Bree. I want one of his books too. We're gonna have to figure that out. I'm pretty sure we will be able to get some of his books. We got to see which one though, which one we want to get, because I know he got a couple. Maybe the one that they decided to make into a movie. I think that's the first one. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see what it is, and we're gonna make that happen. Hey, General, which book are y'all reading in class? Y'all reading the first one? Hey, baby dry, you crazy. It's a cookout contender. Where was you at yesterday? Did Dr. K get invited to the cookout? Cause yeah, that's definitely a must. Dr. K was a whole beast yesterday. She did an amazing job, And y'all know we got her kids coming next week to talk, TJ and Sailor. So they're gonna come and talk with us next week. That's gonna be fire too. Hey, Ilmatic, glad you made it back safely. Kamaya, I know, I wanna read one too. You wanna read a lot this summer? All right, bet. You know, I got to do the Audible. I love me an Audible. The other Westmore, okay, yeah, that's what I think. Ilmatic, you picked up your diploma. Congratulations, yo. Class of 2020. Congratulations. I know that's right. Official, all these 2020 folks. I love it. We're gonna do something for y'all. Y'all know we having the I don't even know what to actually call it, but we're having like a HeartSmiles situation. And I should have asked Miss Simone to give y'all the details, because she's the one that's actually planning it. So maybe we might talk about it tomorrow, but it's going to be like our 5-year celebration. So like we doing it the day of, like right on July 24th. Like that's like the official day that that HeartSmiles was incorporated. So we doing it on that day. It's gonna be like a 5-year anniversary celebration situation. Let me make sure my man's West is okay. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna give away awards and all that stuff. It's gonna be pretty cool. What question you got, baby dry? What question do you have? Oh, there you go. About to get this party popping, y'all. There you go. Hey, Mr. West.
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm so good. I'm good. I'm eager for progress.
I
That's
know
how I
that's
am.
right. I
I'm
know
eager
that's
for
right.
progress. How you
Man,
doing?
I'm doing good. I'm blessed. I can't complain. I really
What is that
appreciate
behind you?
Oh, you looking at the snakes?
Yes.
This pay them no mind. Pay them no mind.
Yo, that is a first. That is a first. Oh, that's so good.
Look,
Wait, how
not
many
my doing. It's two of them. It's a baby one and a big one. It's a mess. Yeah, I try to make sure they don't get fed while I'm on live because that is like a whole mess.
That is something else. That is something else. Well,
Oh man,
I'm excited. I'm excited to touch base with you.
man, I'm super excited. We've been trying to make this happen for a while,
I
man,
know
for a
it's been a
while.
while. It's been a while, but I'm excited to do it. I really am, and I think honestly, especially right now, I think it's everything's happens for a reason. Everything is always on time, and I think
Absolutely.
right now this is very much on time.
Absolutely, yes. And thank you so much for just taking the time to be with us. I'm not sure if you have the YouTube up to see the chat, but you're getting a lot of love in the chat right now from our heartbeats. A lot
Uh,
of them are actually reading your book for class projects and stuff. Yeah,
appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I really
showing
do.
you a lot of love. So for folks who may be tuned in who don't know who Mr. Westmore is, like, who is he? Because I heard he was from Baltimore, and I'm like, huh?
All day.
What?
All day.
Where
And I
at?
still live here now. And it's funny because some people ask, they're like, because the organization that I run, Robin Hood, even though we do fund in Baltimore as well as other places, it's a New York-based organization. So people often say they're like, I thought you moved. I thought you moved. I thought you moved. I said, nah, man. Like I commute. Well, back then, get on the train and take the train back, and get on the train and take the train back.
Yeah.
But Baltimore is home. Baltimore is home. I
Wow.
take deep pride in the fact that this is a place that helped raise me. I take deep pride in the fact that this is a place that's helping to raise my children. I take deep pride in that because I feel like in so many ways the Baltimore story is mine. In so many ways, my story is very much a Baltimore story, and so I have a very deep level of pride and respect for the people of this city, and also just a very deep level of admiration about the importance of this city to the state, the importance of the city to the country, the importance of the products of this city. Because the truth is that it's not just about when we talk about the future of Baltimore, it's a future of planet Earth is going to help be shaped by us, by y'all, by Baltimoreans, by people who come through fire, and still are never so burned that they don't keep moving. And I just have a deep amount of respect for that. So yeah, I'm Baltimore all day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we know you from Baltimore. You just say y'all. We
You
know.
know that's right. You know
Please
that's
tell me West Side. Please tell me West Side. Where you from, West?
no. Actually, well, I know I spent most of my time over on the east, actually. So
Really? Where at?
sorry. I know. I know West Side rolls deep in Baltimore. But it's funny though, is that it is Baltimore is one of few places in the country that I have seen or I've experienced where saying you're from a city is not enough, right? It's
Yes.
like I need to know location, I need to know side, I need to know street. I mean, it goes deep, and
And
it's
what
funny
school?
because and what school, and and it's funny because I think about it where so for those who don't know my story, I was sent to a military school when I was 13 years old, and I had some challenges, and so I had a mandatory year in military school. The military school that I got sent to was in Pennsylvania, a place called Valley Forge Military Academy, and so I had a mandatory year there. But at the end of that year, I was actually doing pretty well, and I wasn't on academic probation anymore, and they gave me some leadership, so I was in charge of people. So I actually wanted to stay. I ended up finishing my high school experience in Pennsylvania at the same school. But it's amazing, people in Baltimore, you tell them like, where'd you go to school? And I said, actually, I had to go to, Pennsylvania. I had to go to military school. And like, I was sent to military school, but people are like, you're not from Baltimore. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, like you cut off.
But it's amazing, like how much that means to people. It's like, and like you said, it's, where'd you go to school? Where'd you go to school? So yeah,
Mhm.
but I mean, Baltimore is a place, and it's wild because even when I left, I went to school here, college here. Um, After grad school, I was in the military for a while. I was overseas. I came back. I started working in New York in finance, and I worked in finance for about 5 or 6 years, working in business. And I eventually made the decision that I wanted to come back home. And I remember when I made the decision that I wanted to come back home to Baltimore, one of the biggest, you could probably sum up the questions that I got from everybody when I told them, "Hey, I'm moving back to Baltimore." You could sum it up in one word, and everyone was like, "Why?" Like they're like, "Did something happen? Did you lose your job? Is mom sick? Is this?" I'm like, "No, like
Wow.
mom is good, and work is good. I just really wanted to come home, and I really wanted to feel that sense of community. That no matter where I was, I never felt that sense of community like I feel when I am in Baltimore." And it's citywide, right? It's like, even though we might come from the east side, it might come from the west side, it might come from this, might come from that. There's this feeling that Baltimore, that we really do take care of our own. We really do
Yes.
protect our own, and I really appreciated that. I appreciated that Baltimore, that I will never forget the role that Baltimore plays in my life. And I feel like in many ways, Baltimore will never forget the role that I play in Baltimore. And it's the same thing that I would say, to everybody and all y'all out there. It's like, you have to understand, man. I mean, sometimes it doesn't feel like it, and I get it,
Yeah.
because this can be a hard place to forget growing. It can just be a hard place to exist in.
Mm.
It can be a hard place to exist in, and I get it. Um, but just know that there is no place that will root for you like this place.
Yeah.
There is no place that you will have cheerleaders for you like this place. It's not going to be easy. Baltimore never promises you easy,
Mm-hmm.
but ever, ever. Um, but one thing it will promise you, it will promise you a place where you have people and you have support, and who are lifting you up and bigging you up and protecting you and rooting for you, uh, in a way that a place that is not home, no matter how hard they try, they can't give you that. And so your success matters to us, and we'll never stop saying it, and we'll never stop rooting for it.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much. You got a bunch of questions lined up already. They hitting you up.
I love it. I
Cam
love
wants to know what called you to become an author.
it. That's a great question, and it's a great question, and I think let me tell y'all a story about how this whole thing went down. I had known my first book was The Other Westmore. I had known Wes for years before the idea of the book came about. I would just go, at first started off writing him notes. He'd write me notes back. Then I'd go and visit him. And then that was just our relationship and how our relationship
Wow.
existed. And then I remember I was talking with a friend of mine who's an author, and she's like a legit author. She like writes multiple books, and like that's what she does. And she's not just one of my mentors in the business, but she's just a dear friend, a woman named Terry Williams. In fact, I have many of her books sitting right there. But she said to me one time, she's like, you know what? She asked about Wes, I and how he was doing. I gave her an update on how he was doing, and she said, I really think you should write about this. I think there's a book here.
Wow.
I told her, I was like, Terry, I was like, listen, into his life. I sure don't want to dig that deeply into mine. I mean, he was my guy. I went to go see him, you know what I mean? But it wasn't like I wasn't writing about anything. And also I
Yeah.
said, I'm also, again, I didn't want to share it with anybody in my journey, my story, anything along those lines. And I went to go see Wes about it. And I went to go talk to Wes, and I asked him, and I said, Wes, what do you think? And he said something to me that I won't forget. He said two things. He said, one, he said, I've wasted every opportunity that I've ever had in life. And he said, and the other thing is, if you can do something that can help people understand not just the consequences for their decisions, but also do something to help people understand the neighborhoods that these decisions are being made in, then you should do it. And I never forgot him telling me that. And that then became my whole fire and motivation behind writing. Now, after I end up writing that book, something else happened. And that was I realized how much I enjoyed writing, how much I enjoyed chronicling and storytelling and learning about lives and the interconnection of lives. I realized how much I needed it. Like I feed on it. I am writing all the time, and whether it is writing new books or whether it is just straight writing because I got things I want to share, and I feel like the best way for me to express it is to put it on paper, which is actually odd for me because I really have more. I like numbers a whole lot more than I like letters. I have more.
Really?
Yeah, I have my math for me comes much easier. It's simpler to me than
Wow.
writing does. Writing is work for me, um, but it's work I actually really do enjoy, and I think it's something that it gives me a chance to be. It gives me a chance where it calms me. It gives me a chance where I have a chance to actually really dig deeply into the situations we find ourselves in. Um, it gives me a chance to be able to share my thoughts and ideas, and sometimes it's to share with nobody, and sometimes it's like the books I write to share with as many people that want to pick it up. Um, but it was really impactful for me to be able to go through that process. And so it's a great question, but that the thing that really inspired me to uh, just I kind of look at it. Sometimes people say, because there's a difference between writers and authors, right? Writers people who write, authors people who publish, and oftentimes it goes where you're a writer, then you become an author. Um, for me, it was a little bit of the opposite, where
Mm,
I almost became an author, and that actually made me become a writer.
mm.
And that was kind of that process for me, and something that I know I plan on doing and leaning on for the rest of my life.
Wow. And that's the book that's going to be turned into a movie.
It is, yes, yeah. So that book was optioned, and so which is a whole crazy experience.
Oh my God. I'm so excited for you. That has to be exciting.
Well, I think the thing that's exciting for me is I want people to know these stories, and I want
Mhm.
people to debate them, and I want people to discuss them, and I want people to analyze them, and and most importantly, I want people to understand how thin that line is between lives,
Yeah.
where just we as a society can be very quick to either celebrate lives or push lives to the side without having any real context of what we're talking about. Where we find ourselves in this moment where we are literally spending time reminding society about which lives matter.
Mm.
And and I think about it in the case of Wes and myself. Where on surface someone could easily look at a bio or look at a whatever or look at the back flap of a book and say, "Oh yeah, I get it. Two guys, same name. One's in jail, one's not." Or the other one I get is Good Wes, Bad Wes. Where are you even getting this from? And part of this thing, and part of the thing I think I wanted to push, and part of the thing I wanted to challenge is that line between our life and someone else's life is really thin.
Yeah.
It's really thin. And we
Yeah.
have to be really careful about who we congratulate and who we castigate until we actually are willing to dig into this a little
Mm.
bit. And that's really what I wanted to do with this whole process is I wanted to ask the reader to dig in a little bit. And before we're so quick to celebrate, or before we're so quick to cast to the side, or before we're so quick to give titles to people, descriptors to people, let's take a moment and understand that our humanity is the thing that actually unites us and keeps us lifted. And with that humanity must come a certain level of humility.
Yes.
And I think a
Mm.
lot of people forget that.
You in the pool pit, Wes. You
Ah.
preaching today. You preaching today. I love it. Oh my gosh,
I
so
love it. These are
important.
good. That's a great question. It's a great
But
question.
Bree has a question too about writer's block. I can't imagine that you would ever get writer's block because of what you write about, but she says, when you get writer's block, what are some of the things that you do to help you move past it?
Oh, great question, Bree. Um, so one thing I've learned is that writers all have different processes that they have to follow, and it's just it has. And if something that someone else doesn't work for you, that's okay. You know, you have to find that flow that works for you. Hemingway used to wake up in the middle of the night and write. That's what he used to do. If that don't work for you, then that's okay. For me, I feel like my brain is most active. My creative side of the brain that way is most active first thing in the morning, and I set my alarm for 5:30 in the morning, and that's when I feel like that's my time. That's when I feel like it's actually things are like moving quickest for me. And I've tried this out, trying to find what time it is. And so generally when I'm in the process of writing, particularly when I'm writing new books, I will get up first thing in the morning and I will sit there in front of a computer and have my notes or whatever it is, and I will just write for a couple hours before starting my process. And the thing about that question, Brie, why it's such a great question, is it also forces me to be disciplined. I know people, I can tell you right now, I know people who are like, yeah, I'm working on this book, you know, da da da. I'll be like, how long you been working on it? Man, like, you know, like 10 years. I just haven't had. You're not
Come
working on
on,
it. What
man.
I mean, like you're not. And that's okay. But be honest about it. Because if you want something, just like anything in life, it means you must be disciplined and go after it. And so that means if you say, you know what, at 6 o'clock every morning, I'm gonna write for an hour. That means if you choose to go to bed at 3 o'clock the night before because you go out and you're hanging out with your friends, then guess what? You're only getting 3 hours of sleep that night.
Come on,
Sorry
man.
for you.
Come on,
But
man.
it doesn't mean when your alarm goes off at 6 that you're just pushing snooze and be like, okay, not today. It means you will get up and you will sit there in front of the computer. And there are certain days, seriously, I will sit there and at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm just like, I got
Yo,
nothing
come
today.
on.
I got nothing today. You know what I mean? Again, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna go back to sleep. It doesn't mean I'm gonna go put on Sports Center. It means I will stare at a computer screen for an hour. And at the end of the day, if I have nothing that day, I'll say, you know what? I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Come on
And you
now.
have to have that mentality. You have to be disciplined, disciplined, disciplined in order to get work done. But you and all of us will be the first ones to stand in our own way because we will start making excuses
Yes.
for ourselves. We will start making so many excuses for ourselves. No one else that has to make excuses for us. Oh man, you know, I got this new project I got to work on. I gotta, I have to, And sometimes the truth is, life does get in the way for people, right? You gotta get a new job. I have to add on hours. I have to this. That's all real, and life does get in the way. The question, though, still becomes down about how are you budgeting your time and what is a priority. Because there is nothing in life that if it is not a priority that you won't shift and move things around for. So the biggest question becomes, what's your priority? Writer's block is going to be a reality. There is no writer who you will ever see like, shit, that was easy. I just knocked that thing out. If they tell you that, they are lying to you or they're not very good.
Woo.
It is going to be hard. There will be writer's block. There will be not just days. There'll be some times that it'll be a week that you'll just stand there like, I'm just not feeling it. Like something is not clicking, or this character is not moving right, or the research that I'm doing, I'm not getting the information that I need. Whatever it is, that's gonna happen. And that happens to people who live on bestseller lists.
Wow.
But they keep going. They stay with their system. They stay with their process. And then before you know it, they got a book. And so that's how this process works. And it is going to be one of the things that at the end of the process is going to feel the most fulfilling for you. Because I have come to learn in my life, the only things that have ever been worth anything in my life have been things I worked for.
Yes.
Things I got easy have never been worth it. Never.
Yes. Man, they laughing me out in the comments because I talk about discipline every single day. every single day.
It's true. And you know, I'm glad you do, because here's the thing. It's one of these things when you talk about what is a key ingredient and this and that. You know, life is never going to be predictable. If anybody could have predicted 2020, listen, please, I wish you would have given all of us a heads up that 2020 was going to be 2020, right? But the one thing that the circumstances that we deal with are going to move and evolve and change. The discipline we approach to life does not. That can be steady. That can be focused. Now, when I say, I'm not saying be inflexible. I'm not saying that if you're like, listen, I'm a writer, and it's like, nah. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is discipline is just simply being focused on a larger goal. Discipline is having your North Star and knowing that your North Star is not going to move. Discipline is just simply saying that even when the winds get a little harder, I might change my posture a little bit to make sure that the wind doesn't blow me over. But best believe I'm not turning my back nor running the other direction or this and that. So that's all discipline is. Stay focused on what is your goal. Stay focused on what is your North Star. And make sure that you never lose sight of that, and you never lose an agenda that moves you closer to that. And that's when you know you'll be fine.
Yes, you're getting a lot of affirmations in the comments, Mr. West. They loving it, and I love that they love it. John, we call him Baby Dry. He has a good question for you.
Baby Dry.
Yeah, Baby Dry. He wants to know, did you ever need motivation to continue on your journey, and have you ever doubted yourself?
Come
Deep
on,
question.
Baby Dry. Come on,
yeah,
Baby
come
Dry.
on, Baby Dry.
You speaking to me this morning, every day. I mean, it's real. Every single day. You question. Every single day, you get nervous. You know, am I this? Am I that? But you know, but I think there's something that actually pulls me back and pulls me out pretty quick. And it's twofold. But again, understand it's always going to be there. And another thing, if someone tells you that they don't feel that, they either lying to you or they're not really doing anything big anyway. So of course they're not worried about it because they're not stretching. Anybody who stretches for something is going to have those moments of uncertainty. There's actually I'm trying to remember what Batman it was. But one of the Batman, it was maybe Batman Returns or one of them, when it was the one with Bane, I think, and when the little kid was trying to jump out of the cave, and how all these grown men were trying to jump out of the cave, and they all kept falling, they never could make it, and they were like, but there was this like one little kid who turned out to be Bane, who ran up and jumped and actually made it out of the cave. And they're like, how in the world, all these grown men who were training, that they could make it out of the cave. They ran, they jumped, and then this little kid is able to do it. And they said the difference between him and them was all these grown men, they had a rope that if they missed the cave, they would fall, but the rope would catch them. The little kid didn't have a rope. The little kid was just like, yo, I'm either going to make it or I'm not going to make it. And he made it. And I think about it in respects to this, where the power of, and this goes actually back to the first part of our conversation about Baltimore. I feel like the power of my existence is the fact that I know you, I know all of you are here for a very clear and distinct reason. And the reason I know that is because you're here.
Yes.
A lot of us aren't. And a lot of us didn't make it through. People we know, family, friends, you're here. So it means it's for a reason. It means it's for a purpose. And I now have seen enough in my life that there is never anything in my life that I will ever see again that will ever make me flinch. I'm done with that. There's anything in my life that's going to make me scared. There's never any rooms that I'm in that I feel like I don't belong in, or that I'm intimidated by the room. When you consider everything that you have done, everything you've accomplished, how you accomplished it, you shouldn't be intimidated by the room. They should be intimidated by you.
Come on, man.
You're a survivor in every definition of the word. And so don't ever walk into a room and feel like you owe anybody anything, or you don't belong there, or you this or you that. Think about where you come from.
Come on.
Think about the blood that runs through you. Think about your history. It's one of the things where, we talk. Some of the most empowering moments in my life have, we talk about science and engineering and math, and all that's really important. It really is. But some of the most important moments in my life, what coursework and everything that they were driven by, it was history. Because I learned, like, I come from the blood of Garvey. I come from the blood of Shabazz.
Hmm.
I come from the blood of Truth. I come from the blood of King. I come from the blood of Robeson. I come from the blood of Baldwin. You don't ever have to tell me about my worth. I know my worth.
Come on.
I know my worth. You don't ever have to convince me of it. Nor do you have the power to take it away from me. And so I think in this space and in this world, it's completely natural and it's completely human to have moments of self-doubt. It's totally human. It's totally real, and I get it. But the reason I never stay there, the reason I never live there, is purely because in those moments when you start feeling that, I always, always, always just take a beat and I say, remember who you are.
Hmm.
And remember why you're here. And if you can do that, those moments of self-doubt, they flee fast.
You was on fire, Mr. West. Man, when I tell you, oh my gosh. And Miss Simone, she does the session right before this one. We were just talking about that last week. Remember who you are and whose you are.
Come on now.
Man,
Come on now.
we
And
here
that
with
you
you.
matter. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it matters to people that you're there. It matters to people that you breathe. It matters to people that you walk. It matters to people that you exist. It matters to people. And you are the product of royalty. Like, don't ever forget that.
Yes.
You are the product of genius. You're the product of an undeniable and unbreakable human spirit. That's why I just, again, sometimes when I hear people, we have even these conversations that are taking place now around everything that's happening, going on in the world. And I'm just like, listen, we have to be honest as a country about a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things we have to be honest about this country of is that there's been this lie that's been perpetrated about that somehow we weren't responsible for the larger building of this place. Where part of the reason that and I'm very clear about the fact that I have pride in America because I have ownership
Hmm.
in America. This idea that somehow anything that is given is somehow a concession. I am as much of an owner of this place as anybody else.
Yes.
It was us. It was our ancestors. It was their blood. It was their sacrifice. Every engine that we see that this country drives on, we provided the fuel. So no one has to tell me or share with me my self-worth. And again, and nobody has the power to take it away. You are not that powerful.
Come on.
Trust me. And if I need to remind you that, I will.
Come
But
on.
you are not that powerful.
Come on, man. I love it. Mr. West, I'm not even gonna lie. We got so many questions. I already know I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. So I apologize in advance.
Nah, you all right.
Man, Illmatic is begging me to ask at least one of her questions. I'm gonna ask one of her questions.
All right,
She
Illmatic.
says, yeah, and she always come with the deep questions. That's why we call her the Illmatic, because she always come with the deepness. She says,
So she must understand the history of Illmatic and why that name is so powerful, because it's one of the most powerful, not forget hip hop albums. It is one of the most powerful literary contributions that we have ever seen. Literally, Nas could have done nothing else for the rest of his career, and he'd be a legend. And he'd be a legend. He could have done nothing else for the rest of his career.
Tell her. I know.
All right, Illmatic.
Illmatic, you heard it. You heard it from the GOAT right here. She says, in relation to fate, do you believe our attempts at free will are fruitful or not? And when answering, can you explain how that correlated to your life personally?
That question is worthy of the title Illmatic.
Didn't I tell you? Did not.
Well justified. That is the correct name. Well justified. You know, it's interesting because it was one of the questions that I tried to answer and I tried to figure out in my own space and in my own mind, the role that fate does play, right? And it is this idea of how much of it is free will versus how much of it is following a path. I actually do believe that one of the greatest blessings that God gave us was this idea of free will. I believe that God sets a path for all of us. I believe that God sets a vision for all of us. I also believe that sometimes, you know, on this idea of, you know, is it possible to, you know, ask God for too much or whatever like that? One of my mentors, she told me, she said, no, because I think you can't even begin to imagine what he's already imagined for you.
Wow.
That what he has and what he's imagining for you is so much bigger than what you could have ever possibly even think about what your future is. And so I think, but the beauty and the love that he has for us is this idea that he also doesn't make you do anything. He lays a path for you. And he says, the path I'm laying for you is my demonstration that I love you. The And that in many ways is what faith is, right? Faith is this idea of being able to move on will and being able in short order is enough to tell you you're doing what he was asking you to do, keep going. And while I feel like part of what we have to be able to do, most important thing that we need to be able to do is to listen. I feel like he's sending us signals and he's sending us things every single day that's letting us know that he loves us. He's sending us things every single day that's letting us know that we're important and that we're valued and that we matter. I also think that what is doing throughout the entire time process and throughout the entire time period is giving us an ability to be able to see and meet that destiny on our own. I think that some people who have been and are some of the most successful in their lives and in their futures and in their careers are not necessarily people who are smarter than others. They aren't necessarily people who had a natural gift more than others. I think they were better listeners. I think they were better listeners. I think God has that set out for all of us. I think we have to listen. And I think we have to act on faith. And I think if we do that, his blessings continue to reign. The people who we see who have mastered life oftentimes are just the best listeners.
Mr. West, did you read my story or something? Because you're speaking right to me through that question. I swear, I tell people that all the time. So I started my nonprofit in the midst of the Freddie Gray riots. And like I said, yo, I didn't even walk across the high school stage, but that's a whole story within itself. But when people ask me, how was I able to build something so successful? I'm just like, yo, when God put a calling on your life, that's all I did.
That's it.
That's all I did was follow that. And I know that my mom loved me and my sister and my brother, they loved me, but nobody wanted me to do it. But I had to do it for me because of what I heard in my life. And I didn't want to be one of those people just complaining about what was happening. I said, no, somebody
Exactly.
got to go and tell these kids, that's not how you handle this.
Yeah.
And haven't looked back since. Retired myself from my six-figure job. Everybody was like, yo, how? Why? Why would you risk your life for kids who don't even care about themselves? But nobody understood what was happening in my mind and in my heart. And like what you said just spoke to me so much because I'm like, yo, all I did was listen. That was it. No knowledge, no skills, no nothing. And I live by that. God don't call the equip. He equips the call.
There you go. There you
And
go.
that's where I was. I'm not special.
That's right. You listened.
Thank you for that
Listen.
word, Mr. West.
Well, let me, but it's one of the reasons why I was so excited to talk because um, I am truly inspired by you.
Oh,
And I'm truly inspired by your work. I'm truly inspired by your story. What you did is not easy. And you know what? And I'm a big believer in the idea that people show their character in crisis. People show who they are in times of crisis. I have seen people in times of crisis uh, do move mountains,
mm,
and I've seen people in times of crisis curl up in little balls,
mm,
and it's noticeable. And the fact that you took that moment and you turned a pain into a purpose, uh, because everybody who's listening here, like we remember that moment like it was yesterday, and I think it was 5 years ago, but we remember that moment like it was yesterday. And in fact, watching everything that's going on right now, I was talking with a friend of mine, and I was like, "Yo, I feel like it's straight up like reliving history.
yeah.
It's straight up reliving history. Like everything that we're seeing right now, we saw this, we lived this 5 years ago." Um, but the question for a lot of people became, but how did you respond to it? Not that it happened to everybody. How did you respond? And people will be judged on that. And not just judged by like your family or your kids or your grandkids eventually. What did you do when everything da da da? How did you respond? Um, but society will judge you on it about how did you respond in a time of crisis. And I think the beauty of you is that you are going to have a really powerful answer about how you responded. And you won't just have a powerful answer, you will have descendants that will then be able to share it as well. You are going to have spirits that will be out there doing amazing things in the world because of your response. That's the beautiful thing. It's the ripples. It's the ripples you will then turn around and create because of all this.
Oh my God. My ice box, Mr. West. Don't do it. My ice box. Melting me just a little bit. I love it. Thank you so, so much for that. Keon wants to know, how do you feel your work inspires young people? That's a great question, Keon.
That's such a good question. That's such a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know how the way I try to think about it, because sometimes people say things like, um, how do you tailor your work to a younger audience? Um, the thing I try to remember is, and I don't try to tailor my work to any audience. You know what I mean? Like I don't think about it and say, I wonder how how a 16-year-old would read that or whatever. Um, I actually just try to think about it in this frame where there's two things I really try to zero in and focus on is one is how do I think, what are the things that I would have loved to have heard or understood at those critical junctures in my own life that could have helped to change? And that's what I try to
Mm-hmm.
introduce and reintroduce back into the world. Like, what are the things that, man, like, I wish I would have understood this at 15. Or man, if I was 13 and someone would and I would have checked something out and said, yeah, that actually might have helped me make a different decision on X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
The second piece is I understand the greatest influence that we are going to have on a younger generation is not what I write. It's not what I say. It's what I do. It's my work. It's my example. You know, I think about it in my own life right now. Sometimes people say like, who's your biggest mentors and that. And sometimes people think I'm crazy when I say this, but some of the biggest mentors I have in my life are people who I've never met,
Wow.
but I just watch them and I model them and I learn from them and I read their work. Some of the biggest mentors I have in my life are people who have passed away. Like I
Mm,
swear, one of the biggest mentors I have in my life is James Baldwin.
mm.
I never met James. James Baldwin, I think James Baldwin passed away before I was born. But he's one
Wow.
of my best mentors
Wow.
because I follow him and I pay attention to him. And I follow his actions. By the way, y'all, this is my son. Can you say hi to everybody?
Hey,
Hi.
baby boy, you just the cutest.
What do you say?
Good.
You say something. You say, she
Thank
said.
you.
So I mean, like when I think about the mentors and the people who I have in my life and how it influences is young people, I'm humbled that we can create a space to be able to have that conversation with young people. I'm humbled by the fact that for example, that the Other West More has been made part of curriculum in schools. I never wrote it for that. I never wrote it so that it would become curriculum. But I'm humbled that it has been because it's the kind of conversations that I want people to have at those moments. Because part of the reason that I wrote it the way that I did it was because I wanted people to be able to say, understand what was going on in the minds and the hearts and the lives of these two kids and go on this journey with them. So instead of just judging them as men, walk with them as boys, walk with them. And then we can have a better understanding of what our society helped to shape and give birth to. And how do we think about all this stuff going forward, right? And so I I really am. I'm humbled by the fact that people are that people can look at read my words or read my books or read the things I'm working on and think they have an influence on people. But really, what I also want to spend my time on is uh, I want people to understand how I walk and how I move and how I maneuver because I understand and I'm humbled by the fact that I believe that is going to have just as much impact on our planet, on our world, on our space, on our communities, on Black people as anything else that I will do.
Yes, I love it. So powerful. Cam, who is one of our 16-year-old entrepreneurs, I'm gonna treat you to one of her immunity smoothies. She's 16.
Ooh.
She make these smoothies, West, all natural fruits, fresh everything, and she put the good stuff in there so that for people who want to be healthy can have a healthy alternative.
I
So
love it,
I'm
Cam. I
I'm
love
gonna
it.
get you, and she is the epitome of discipline. 16-year-old got a daily schedule every single day. She used her calendar and she on point with everything. She's never missed a success session since we started.
Love it. Love it.
Her
Love
her
it.
question is deep. She says, what do you feel like your role as an influencer should be during this time with our current events?
Mm.
Powerful.
Um, Such a good question.
Mm-hmm. It's
So I can
deep.
only speak. Yeah, it's very deep. And I'd say, I mean, I can only speak for myself because I think that people have to choose how they respond based on um, what gives them joy and peace. Uh, However, for me and what I hope that other people do, my role is to be unrelenting.
Mm.
My role is to say, all these things, all these societal imperfections that we have had to deal with and wrestle with and be raised in. My job is to be unrelenting that this moment doesn't pass with those things still alive. I want them gone. I want them gone. And I want to force our society and force our country to understand how dangerous and nefarious and inhumane they have been the whole time. Our job is to speak our truth. Our job is to use our voice. Our job is to let people know that your actions and foolishness and hate-filled stuff is not going to go unchecked. And when we think about the life that we're trying to lead, the society we are trying to build, the love that is our fuel, I can tell you right now, my army is bigger than yours.
Hmm.
And so I want to go in with a level of an unrelenting pressure to make things better and know that I have armor all around me. And so there's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to be fearful of. My armor is thick. My team is large. My army is equipped and they are prepared. And we're itching for this fight. We know that, the thing that my fuel, the thing that I know that all of us can get done, and the thing that keeps all of us going, it really is this ammunition of love, right? It's this ammunition and this idea that we all know collectively, we all know that we are going to have a chance to make our society not just emotionally better, it's functionally better.
Yes.
That it functions fair, that it functions in a way that actually deals with the challenges that our society faces, that it functions in a way that deals with issues such as structural racism and economic imbalance and economic inequities. We can do this. And so the way I think I try to approach this moment is I'm not going to stop talking. I'm not going to stop pushing. I'm not going to stop mobilizing. I'm not going to stop organizing. I'm not going to stop. If you're waiting for that, I hope you're patient.
Come
Because you
on,
can wait
man.
a long time.
Come on, man. I love it. Lene, she's our little activist. She on the front lines of everything.
Love it.
She wants to know if any point of your career was anything challenging due to you being a successful Black man, especially in this time.
Oh Lord. And I think that and you said Lene?
Mm-hmm.
Lene.
Yeah.
Lene, great question. I think that there's something I had to get accustomed to and get comfortable with. And I say this with actually a very heavy heart, because sometimes it's people who have, like yourself, sometimes it's people who have the purest hearts who learn this the hard way. It's that not everybody is going to be your cheerleader. What you are talking about doing, Lene, and what you are doing every day is you're disrupting a system. And frankly, you're disrupting a system that for people in our society, that system that you're trying to disrupt has coddled them. That system that you are trying to disrupt has anchored them. That system that you are trying to disrupt has elevated them.
Yeah.
Which means not everybody's going to cheer you. Not everyone's going to root for you. Not everybody's going to want to see you succeed. I often think, and I always say, if everything you do gets 100% approval rating, I hate to burst your bubble, you're not doing much. You're not doing much. You are walking into a space and you're walking into a territory where you are going to have every day your heart will be filled and your heart will be broken. Every single day. You're walking into a space where the targets, you look up because you have so many targets of things you're trying to knock down, and then every once in a while you'll look down and look at yourself and there's targets on you because of what you're trying to do. Because the targets that you have in your sights have been the things that have protected certain people.
Come on, man.
I think you have to go into it understanding about what is it that motivates you and what it is that keeps you safe and keeps you secure. Um, I think about what motivates me. My family motivates me. My friends motivate me. My God motivates me. Um, Haters don't motivate me. Enemies don't. No, and I know the expression. Oh, I want to thank my haters because they motivate me. It's cute. It's cute. I get it. But you know why haters don't motivate me? I don't spend enough time thinking about them.
Whew.
They just don't take up enough of my mind share to motivate me. Things that motivate me are actually things that take up my mind share, like you saw my son, right? My daughter, my family. Like that, they motivate me because they take up my mind share, my mission, my work. That takes up my mind share. Haters or whatever you want to call it, I'm not motivated by them because I just don't think about them enough.
Come on,
And they're
man.
not worth my time. They're not worth me thinking about them enough. So that's the way I think you deal with it. If you don't have people who are trying to stop your momentum, you're not doing anything. But if you know these are the things I want to deal with, this is the change I want to see happen, know that sometimes it means that arrows might come your way. That's cool.
Yes.
Arrows come my way every day. I also know that I've got some pretty thick armor, and you
Oh,
better come with it.
come on, man. Come on, man. We only got a few more minutes. I gotta squeeze these last two questions in
All right,
because
good. I'll be quick. I'm sorry.
no, you good. No, ain't no sorry. We love this. You getting so many positive affirmations. You speaking to souls and minds, young ones at that who need it. So I appreciate it.
I
Um,
appreciate you.
Kamaya is speaking on behalf of the young people watching right now who aspire to be authors. She wants to know what advice would you give to young people who like to write but aren't sure what to do or where to start. And Kamaya is 16 and she's also never missed a success session, very consistent, like always
Love it.
looking for more to do. Yes.
Love it. I would say a couple big things to come out. One is keep writing. It's writing is a muscle. Writing is a skill, and it's a type of thing when people say, how do you build muscles? You keep working out, right? That's how you build muscles. And writing is exactly the same way. Another big thing is you should spend time reading and finding authors that speak to you. Because, like, I know for a fact that there are styles of writers that I have incorporated into my own writing. And I do it just because I read them all the time, right? When they have new books coming out, I'm like, boom, I'm getting that book. Or this person, like, I know I'm getting that because their writing influences me in my own. The third thing, especially when you're talking about publishing, is go to the back of books and go to the acknowledgement section. Guaranteed, most writers, one of the first people they acknowledge in their acknowledgement section is their agent, and it's their publisher. And make a note of that. Because what agents and publishers do oftentimes is they will literally sit there and they will pay attention to, they have a certain type of genre that they publish or a certain type of genre that they focus on. So if you read a book that's very similar to the one you want to write, find out who their agent is, find out who their publisher is, and reach out to them. Because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, they will reach back out to you. And they will be inspired. The fact that a young person came out and reached out to them about it, and they will come out and really push and look to support you. And so, and maybe that's actually, if it's okay, Kamai, I'll end on that, because what I want you all to remember more than anything else is your stories matter. Your journeys matter. And don't think for a second like, well, my story's not that interesting or whatever like that. You have no idea who your story will touch right when they need to be touched. You have
Yes.
no idea how much a person will understand that they're not alone because you shared your journey with them and they saw through your words and your story that they weren't alone. And so I'm inspired that you all are not just together, but I'm inspired that you all are spreading. That you're sharing your voice, you're sharing your gifts, you're sharing your tools, you're sharing your journeys You're sharing your pains. You're sharing your joys. Because the world needs to see it. The world needs to hear it. The world needs to understand your humanity. And the world needs to understand that you're not going anywhere.
Yes.
Because the world will respond accordingly to that. So
yes.
I'm so grateful for you. I really am for your leadership in all this, because again, how people respond in crisis says everything about who they are. And you responded brilliantly in crisis.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
society is
much.
better because of it.
Thank you so much, Mr. West. This has been a beautiful hour. Baby Dry done invited you to the cookout like 10 times. Everybody else followed up, said you invited to the cookout. Please, I gotta ask you just this last thing, because it's the final thing that we ask everybody who comes through, and that is, if you had to leave us with one jewel, what would you leave us with?
What my grandparents told me before I left for Afghanistan, which is have faith, not fear. Have faith, not fear. The best decisions that I've ever made have been decisions that have been rooted in faith. The worst decisions that I've ever made in my life have been decisions that have been rooted in fear.
Thank you so much. This is a blessing. Thank you so much, Mr. West. We definitely got to keep the connection going. You are a blessing.
We sure will, and I'm coming to this cookout.
We got you. You coming. We got you. See you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much.
God bless you. God bless all y'all. Thank you. Bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, guys.
Y'all, what a powerful conversation. Oh my God, y'all. I'm completely blown away, y'all. The man is amazing. The man is brilliant, y'all. Yes, have faith, not fear. Miss Mo.
Hey.
What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. You all up in the garden today?
Yeah, I'm in the Garden of Eden. Yup.
Yo, we love it. We love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had to do something. I had to create a space that was like good for me. So, yeah.
Oh, all right. So you just ripped up the bushes and say, hey, y'all getting up here now.
We could have had a good moment. We could have just, it could have been over.
I love it, y'all. I love it.
I didn't rip up any bushes. This is the Amazon bush.
Yo, oh, it's an Amazon. Oh. Oh, I thought you went outside. You know, Willow, y'all got that green grass.
No, I did not rip up any bushes and hang them up in my house. They would die after a while because they ain't no good or nothing. That's a mess. How are you?
I'm doing great, y'all. We just wrapped up a powerful, powerful session with Mr. West. Like, yo.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I was of course I caught like the first half, and then the second half I didn't really catch like that. I just caught the jewel because I was sitting here. But yeah, it was real good.
Oh yeah, he's definitely the man. Yo, I ain't gonna say she was having a boxing match with the bush. Y'all is dumb, yo.
You can never let us live. Just one day. Just give me one day where I can live. I don't understand it. Well, this is y'all gonna see the ripped up bushes probably from now on. So just get used to it.
No, we good with that. We good with that.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
You had us in the laundry room somewhere with the clothes.
Funny story. I'm in the same room. Okay. I'm in the same exact room. Yes, for the first I don't know, for most of the weeks, the first few weeks, I was like on the floor. Well, I was always on the floor, right? But I was on the floor, like by where you saw the clothes at, because the door was right there and it was clothes hanging right there. But then this corner like freed up. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit right here in the corner when you saw just a blank white wall. And then all my stuff came. So I was happy. I was hyped. So
all right, okay.
So I'm in the same room. Just
yo, see what a difference a bush can make? That's crazy. Yo. Hey, yo, Baby Dry will say Tarzan and Jane. I'm dead.
Oh my goodness. Oh my, stop calling baby dry though. Baby dry. When I heard that come this morning, I was like, not baby dry.
Did I tell you what he did, y'all?
You told everybody, Joe.
Oh,
You told everybody.
so sad, y'all.
Yeah, got there on the call and just was like, yeah, it's fine. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we know.
I was so upset. But thank you for agreeing to host the watch party
Of
with
course.
him and Cam.
Of course. I'm excited.
Gonna do that conference. Oh yeah, I'm excited too. It's gonna be super cool. I can't wait. Yo, Naeem is crazy, yo. And he gonna say the Bush murder. I'm done. Yo, we got Track Star at the door, yo. We what's going on?
Of course.
Let's see. I hope she got her video on. Track Star don't never turn her video on, yo. Yeah, we got her today, yo.
There we go.
Yeah. Hey, Track Star.
Hey.
You look just like your mama.
Just like her. Like,
Twinning.
yo.
Twinning. So cute. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
What?
Yo, why? Baby Drive gonna say the tumbleweed.
The what?
The tumbleweed.
Not the tumbleweed. Oh my God. Y'all just, never. Jody, get your life together. Y'all got her falling out. I'm crying now for real. You're talking about I said the Amazon Bush, Tarzan and Jane. We got the Bush murder. Oh my God. we go hot right into it, y'all. And y'all gonna leave my bushes alone. They're vines, okay? They're not even bushes, they're vines. All right. So leave them alone. So starting off with our question for today. All right, Miss Jody, y'all don't see her. She is falling out. What? Oh my goodness. I feel like Isis, you my friend right now. I feel like you're the only one that didn't say nothing. So Isis, you my friend, and Zion, you my friend, because you ain't saying nothing yet. But maybe
I didn't realize it until just now.
Huh?
I didn't realize it until just now.
You have comments?
No, I said I didn't realize it until just now.
Oh, okay. All right, y'all. So in the make-believe world where we care about what people think about us, right? What's something that you wish that you could stop people from assuming about you? Zion or Miss Joni, y'all want to go first, or y'all want me to go first?
Look, I gotta think. You can go first.
Okay. I wish people would stop assuming that I'm dumb. I think some people assume that just because I don't say anything, I'm not as intelligent or know as much as people in the room. So I'm not saying I'm the smartest person alive, but I'm saying I know things. So I think people assume that I'm dumb sometimes, or just don't know as much as everybody else. And yeah, I wish people would stop doing that.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of you because even though I act goofy a lot and stuff like that, and sometimes I can have times when I a little out of it. I wish people overall that I'm not dumb. When it comes to school stuff, I'm very, very intelligent. It's just it's just not on all the time. When at certain time. So yeah.
Okay, thanks, Ms. Joni.
Mine would be people assuming that I'm not a nice person. People that don't know me, just automatically assume that I'm mean, because I'm not one of those outwardly, you know, like social person or, you know, whatever the case may be. And it's like, if you don't know me, you just automatically think that I'm mean. And like, that's just something that I've been hearing for a long time.
Not for a long time. Okay. Thank you for sharing. I guess low key, I mean, I'm not like I'm not the nicest looking person, but the problem is like I'll always like greet you or something like that. So I feel like if I didn't say anything, people would think that I'm mean because my face is not always pleasant. But yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I just can't with y'all honestly, because I can see y'all answering this question, but I can still see the bushes and stuff. But Jada said, hey Jada, she said, I wish people would stop assuming that I don't like like nobody. John, hey John, aka Baby Dry, I guess these days. I wish people would stop assuming that I can never be serious. Lene, hey Lene said that I can't hold myself and that I'm mean, quote unquote. Naeem, hey Naeem said, I wish people would stop assuming that I can never be serious, but not only that, but assuming I'm not smart, even though they do not know who I am. Thank you, Naeem. And then John said, also, I don't like that people assume that I'm judgmental. Hey Bree, and Bree said that I'm mean. Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of memes and basically memes like in that umbrella of like people think that you're mean and then can never be serious. I feel like we all kind of went under those two umbrellas. So yeah, if we cared about these people that assumed, you know, what we assumed about us, then yeah, it's always good to get to know the person and don't make assumptions when you first meet people. But I mean, of course, people have those first impressions, but it's always good just to know the person. All right. So Zion, I'm gonna hand it all the way to you. You got it. This is yours. And just let us know when you want us to answer something. Zai, we can't hear you, babe.
Okay, so basically today the topic gonna be about civic engagement. Me and Ms. Joni been doing a class about civic engagement. We were partnered with the Food Project, and for the Food Project is basically good. Next slide. Okay, so what is civic engagement? My definition of civic engagement is basically the basis of it is basically when a community and a government come together so the community can to make the community better. Next slide. Okay. Basically during civic engagement, we basically was building up to make policies. So how a policy is made is like it steps towards, so like you have to figure out what's the problem, in written form, how will we solve it? If there's any money that needs to be involved, how much would it need to be? How would you implement it to make sure it's happening? And how would you evaluate it to make sure that it's working and that's why you made the policy.
Cool. Zai, let me just interrupt you real quick. I'm sorry, but can you talk about, you know, like how you got involved in this particular? I know you're going to talk about what the Food Project is and things like that in the class and all that, but how did you become involved in it?
Basically, Ms. Joni texted me with all the information and stuff about it. And because if you know me, I like a lot about politics and stuff. And, like people, I like a lot about politics. So Ms. Joni basically texted me about the class. And I was like, yeah, I would like to do it. And then it took a couple of weeks for it to get started. like a lot of weeks for it to get started. And then we basically, we got started, and we got I think we got started like the second week of quarantine, because I did go to a meeting, basically overrun what the class was going to be about, and basically I was behind the scenes, so I got to see more than the actual people that do the class with me for the first 2 weeks. Okay, so how can you influence the policy? So if you like do your research and stuff and you know policy, you can say, like, basically you can speak up. So say if it was a policy saying that you have to, when you go to school, they have to feed you, and the lunch lady or somebody be like, oh, well, since you've been disrespectful, I'm not going to feed you. So you basically say, oh, this is basically this is basically not a law, but it is a law that you have to feed me at school, because that's what your responsibility is doing. Even though I'm being disrespectful, you cannot say I can't eat. That don't have nothing to do with it. You do your job, I do mine, get my food and keep it going. So basically making sure the people are aware that they're doing what they're supposed to do. Okay, so these are some of the terms that we went over throughout the class. As you see, it's civic engagement, food security, food insecurity, assets, root causes, symptoms, policy, research, and research questions. I'm gonna just give an example. I gave the example about civic engagement, and so I'm gonna give an example about the rest of them. So food security is something like, you're gonna have food. You don't have to worry about where your next meal is coming from. Food insecurity is the opposite, obviously. You don't know where your next meal coming from. You probably most likely live in a food desert, and you probably don't have healthy food. An asset is something that's important in the community. So like, you could say a patch of grass is important because it's a place where youth can go and play football or play softball or something like that. A root cause is something where a problem started from. So say if, like, for food insecurity, I can be I don't know if that's what I'm about to say makes sense, but I can be a part of a food insecurity because I live in a food deficit. And then to go off of the symptom will be I don't have food, or I should say healthy food. So that would be the symptom of the root cause. A policy is something basically like a rule or quote unquote law that people have to follow throughout the community. And research is basically how can I say it? Like data or statistics and stuff like that. And research question is basically you asking the question, like you coming up with questions to find more about, like, information about. So like with the food project, where you have to come up with questions about food insecurity and stuff like that, on to like how to help lower food insecurity, if that makes sense. Okay, so first what we're going to do today is we're going to try to make a policy. So like I explained before, these are the steps that we have to do. So we can make a policy with Black Lives Matter. So basically the problem would be Blacks are getting killed for nothing, and Blacks are getting killed for nothing from racist police officers, whites, anything of that nature. So the first thing we have to do is set the agenda. So basically, setting the agenda would be, how can I explain it? Setting the agenda, like, how are we gonna make these steps to make sure this policy is good. So it will probably be first find the data or statistics of how many Black people get killed for nothing, basically. And then the next thing could be how many people will be find how many people will be behind this policy and make sure that we can move on with this policy. And then after that, we can do how can we make sure this policy going to work? So that's basically setting the agenda. And then making a policy, it'll probably say the policy can be every time a Black person get killed from over nothing, the person who killed that person will have to be charged immediately right after it's known that they did it. So and then the budget will probably be, it's something that a budget, like you can't come up with a budget off the top of your head because you have to actually do the research on like the data or how it works. So the budget will have to probably go into like the jails, the courts and stuff like that, because if you think about it, you're gonna have to hold the people accountable. And being in the jail is not free. They still have to feed you, they still have to make sure you have clothes, they still have to make sure the lights on in the jail and stuff like that. So it's actually gonna cost money to do that. And then 5, the John, can you help me on that word?
Implementation.
And that word, you guys. So you have to make sure, like, how will you make sure it's actually happening? So you'll have to be like, you'll make sure it's implied, because like nobody will get off the leash for killing a Black person, basically. So if I'm going and like probably walk down the street, see a white police, I don't want to keep saying white because it's not just white police officers. I see a police officer basically doing what they did to George Floyd. I'm like, okay, I'm going to record this. As soon as another police officer, as he should, need to lock him up and take him to the jail and get charged, just how they would when they catch a Black man shooting another Black man. So exactly what they do to us, we'll do to them. And then if they don't catch them right then, they're send a warrant out, because that's exactly what they do to people of color. And then the evaluation. So basically, you're gonna be back to the data and statistics. Okay, so before this policy was made, it was only 2 out of 10 people getting locked up from killing a Black person over and nothing. But now it's 9 out of 10 of a person going to jail or getting locked up for killing a Black person. So that's how you do the evaluation, making sure that it's actually making progress to something.
Ooh, so just a question for you. Is it important when you're going through these steps to be passionate about whatever the cause is? And can you kind of talk about like how you feel about what you just talked about? So kind of police brutality and Black Lives Matter and, things of that nature.
Yeah, you have to be passionate about whatever policy you're making, because if you're making a policy and the government or whoever you're going to don't see that you're passionate about it, they're not going to take you serious at all to make it a policy to put in place. If they don't see that you're on top of the stuff while making a policy, they're really not going to take you serious. So by making a policy, you have to make sure this is your number one priority, because you're making a policy because you want to see a change in wherever you at in the community. What's the next question?
I said, so since you use Black Lives Matters and police brutality as an example, and you went through the steps, how do you, and you just said like it's important to be passionate about whatever, you're talking about when it comes to going through these steps. How do you feel about things that have been going on?
I have mixed emotions about it. So one, what I'm going to say is like, with the kills and stuff, like, oh, nothing, it's just so pointless. Like, what is going through their mind is it's like saying that, like, I'm going to kill this Black person, it's going to make me proud. Like, how is it actually making you proud to take another life for nothing? about everything that's going on, the riots, personally, like people might not agree with me, but I say, how, like, I don't see the point of like burning down your own community. Yeah, you say that they can rebuild a Target, but they can't bring back a life. Yeah, that's obvious. But actually, you're talking about, why do you think that so many people live in poverty? Because they're going to have to put money back into the community, and it's going to take it probably take a budget from the youth, because they have to rebuild that Target, you know? So just like, we can, the community, the nation can go a correct way about it. The police, they need a whole new, like, what is it called? Like when they have to go through the academy and stuff, they need a whole new criteria. They need a whole new objective. They need a whole new lesson, because you clearly knew, like when the George Floyd thing, you clearly knew that was a blood, or I don't know what it's called, a blood point. You clearly knew that was. So you knew you wanted to kill that man. You wanted to kill them. And for like, it should be something held accountable for the other police officers. Okay, man, you see, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. No matter if he did do it or not do it, you're absolutely doing too much. You had him in handcuffs. Let's be serious. How is he going to harm you? Bite you? Like, let's be serious right now. So, like, they just need another way to go about stuff. Like, the force and stuff, some police officers, they take it to mind, or I'm a police officer. Everybody got to listen to me, because I'm the law enforcement. They take it, they have it in their mind that, like I'm not a citizen no more. I'm the one who's in charge of you, when that's not true. I'm still a citizen. I still live in this city. I still have to go through everything that you're going through. This badge, I think people need the mindset, the police officers need the mindset, this badge is nothing but to help me protect you from the enemies. And that's what I feel like it needs to be an evaluation with people. Like, okay, are they mentally stable to be a police officer? Are they mentally stable to have a gun? Are they mentally stable to have a taser, a baton, and stuff like that? So it's like, it's not, I feel like they just like, people based on their scores or their what their abilities they can do, take over, like stuff like that. They don't actually look at I think it needs to be a mental health thing when they're going through the process of being in the law enforcement or being in the military and things like that.
Thanks, I know. I agree with a lot of what you said. So you said that maybe we should, that we should revamp like the training and criteria for police officers. So do you think that it's important? Like, what would that look like to you? What do you think that they need to go through? Just some things that you think that they need to go through.
Based on what I know, like when my father had to do basic training, it was not, I don't remember him telling us about anything about them making sure that they were correct in their mind. It was none of that. So like the first couple of weeks, I feel like when they go to the police academy, make sure they're mentally stable to hold a gun, hold a baton, all this stuff. It's not just, they're strong enough or they're fast enough to be a police officer. So I feel like the first few weeks, they need to, the people that's in charge or whoever teaching the class need to make sure that they should have an evaluation on like mentality, their mental health, like they making sure nobody who have serious anger issues or keep serious anger issues going through, because clearly they have serious anger issues. They can hurt somebody just like they did all the Black people that they did. So, and then if they don't pass that part of the test, they have to say, okay, you have to take a step back. We're going to put you in therapy before you go on longer, either go on longer for any other training. And then after they do the training, they feel like, okay, because I know my dad was saying when they were in the military, they'll have to actually like put like forth on like each other. They'll basically like, they will basically each other test dummies or whatever. So that's what you do. If you feel like if you see that something getting serious, just doing a basic training on your partner, then yeah, now you have to take a step back from this part. And you have to get evaluated from a therapist and know how to go to right things about it. And then they basically like do what they do, like still train them correctly and stuff like that, and train them like actually sit down and teach them like, okay, if a person looks suspicious, no, I wouldn't just get out my car, put your hands up, and have a gun drawn to them. That's not what you do. You basically, if it's nothing reported, you can't like just stop somebody if it's nothing reported, because you what all like suspicious. If not a robbery was reported, stuff like that, just don't stop nobody, you know. And if they do get caught, basically take the right way about it. So basically, put them in a handcuff, explain to them their Miranda rights, and then just take them down to the station. All the force, if they're not fighting back, all the force and stuff is not needed at all. And I think that's the way they have to go about it. Like things like that.
Thank you for like going through like what you would like that to look like, that process, you know. I think that's important. Like I think the way that police officers are trained, I don't know who they're consulting with, you know, to make these trainings or whatever, but I think that they need to consult, they need to broaden who they talk to about you know, how their training looks. And I also think, and I'm gonna add to you, Zai, I think that the mental health evaluation is important, but also emphasizing, you know, providing assistance and providing support, like not just evaluating somebody mentally and be like, oh no, we gonna put you to the side, or like we think you're crazy or something like that. Offering supports, offering resources, giving those things to people, but also adding like a racism and bias like training, not like not one slideshow where like you talk about, okay, this is what bias is, this is what racism is, this is what it's over. Like immersing yourself in that and putting yourself in people's shoes, you know, and also just being in a space where I think that there's a term, it's called like cultural competence, and I go back and forth with what that means exactly, because I feel like cultural competence teaches you to tolerate people versus changing attitudes and changing what you have already learned. So when people say cultural competence, I'm kind of like a little shifty, because I'm like, okay, but we're not addressing the racism problem. We're not changing the thinking about the racism problem. We're just telling people how to kind of push it to the back and not think about it, but not healing that part. Because we have to realize racism is taught. You were not born racist. You were not, you know, born biased. Like you learn these things, whether it may be at home or from just your environment in general. So I think like just reversing some of these attitudes and reversing some of these beliefs and really, you know, taking that privilege away and being like, listen, this is what it looks like for other people. And this is what it looks like for, you know, to be Black and brown in America. So you need to get over yourself, because who cares that you don't like a group of people because of the color of their skin.
Yeah, me and Christian had saw this TikTok shoot right before I got on this call, and it was saying how they was basically comparing a white to George Floyd, and I'm just looking at the TikTok like, this is not happening to whites every single day. This is not like, it's a different story, y'all. Okay, we're not saying that y'all don't have y'all don't go through nothing, y'all don't have y'all hurt, whatever. But your culture is easy to get through. If my name is John and a white person's name is John, they both gonna think we're white from our name. So I'm like, okay, we're about to give both Johns this interview. But as soon as I walk into that door, oh, we're about to question that because my color, my skin. But as soon as the other John walks through the door, probably have less education than me, I'm probably smarter than him by school and stuff. Oh, we're about to give this John a chance because he's white. And I think that's what some whites need to think about, stuff like that. They probably have way more opportunities than a black man or a black woman would have. And a white man, period, in the U.S. already get everything that they deserve because it's a white man. Just because it's a white man.
Yeah, TikTok has its own set of problems too.
Yeah,
I don't know if y'all have been keeping up. I haven't been keeping up all the way, so I can't speak on. I can only speak on what I've seen. But like just those things where like their algorithm, I've heard their algorithm is made so that like white influencers show up on your For You page more than black influencers.
Definitely.
Yeah, and things like that. So TikTok has its own set. And I think they also allowed white people and like teenagers and stuff, they weren't filtering their content. So like black and brown people would be posting things, you know, maybe dancing or something, and they would mark that as provocative. But white people would be on there like saying the N-word and stuff, and they wouldn't like take it down. I mean, it's down now, but
Yeah, because
it was
it's a broad thing now. Like, my brother had just like, he didn't have a shirt on, but he had everything else on. Like, he's a boy, so I didn't really see the problem with it. And they took mine down, but if I'm going through my For You page, there's a whole bunch of whites with the shit off. But okay. All right.
But yeah, sorry, we went on a whole thing, but but yeah, no, thank you, Zai, for just talking about it, because I think it's important to show that you're passionate about the topic that you just talked about and went through the steps with. Can you talk about what and you and Miss Joni, and Miss Joni, I'm gonna pause actually because I don't know if you have questions for Zai or not.
Oh no, she's doing a great job. I'm just waiting for the part where she invite people to be a part of this class because we got a limited number of seats.
It's coming, right, Zai? The invitation's coming. So yeah.
Okay, so what were some pros and cons of this class? The pros of it is basically expanding your knowledge. Like, just not like, okay, I know a policy is a rule. Actually, like how what are the steps that the government and the community is taking to make the policy. Another pro can be I guess getting to know different views of the ideas and stuff like that. Of what people say about the policies and stuff. We work on food insecurity, so it really wouldn't be like exactly Black Lives Matter. It was just an example. So I guess that was the point at post. And then actually like I didn't know what an essay was at first, but now actually I know what an essay, and I can like it's basically like expanding your life, just how not just how school, because it's not that boring. If you're actually passionate about it, it's actually interesting. So yeah, just learning like more like, okay, this is all the stuff the government takes now. Since we know the government taking now, we can come with the government and come up with these policies instead of them making a policy for us, for the communities they actually don't live in. I can live on East Baltimore, and they can live in Harford County making policies for me, but they don't know what's important to me. So I feel like that's the point of the class. The point of the class is for me personally. I didn't know anybody in the class but Miss Joni. So it's like, like, am I talking too much? Like, am I giving too like? Sometimes Johnny had to shut me up because like I would be the only one answering that questions. So it's just like, am I overstepping now? Because this is their place. Like, am I like every call I get, I'll be like, yeah, I think I'm gonna shut up. I know the answer, but I'm gonna just shut up because I don't want to feel like that I'm overstepping. And I don't know for sure, but I think I wasn't that good. I guess I'm in that class. What's time is on? Okay, yeah. So I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm, overstepping them, or make them feel like they like I'm smarter. Like I'm not nobody to feel like that. So like I just shut up and like, But like when it comes to time when they was too quiet, I was like, bro, you just gave it. Okay. Let's answer the question. And then I'll answer the question. Like I'll be outside like, so nobody will answer the question. We just went over this. So that was probably the comment. Like I didn't know the type of people I would be around. It'd probably be different if it was actually on HeartSmiles. But it's also a pro because it's helping me understand like I have to get comfortable no matter like where I go, stuff like that. So like being in a mixture, being diverse, stuff like that, probably be a pro. So it goes hand in hand. Yeah, that's all. Try to think of it now.
Okay, cool. So this is, I guess it's a question for you and Miss Joni. What's the food project? Because I don't think we talked about what the food project is. And then how was like your overall experience? I mean, you talked about like pros and cons, but just that's more for Miss Joni because she didn't talk about like her experience really yet.
You want to say what the food project is?
Yeah, so the Food Project is an initiative in South Baltimore where basically they try to help cure this idea of food insecurity, what Track Star was talking about. So they have an old rec center and they've turned it into this community like kitchen. So every day of the week, people from the community can go in and get meals and be served. And also they had different things like cooking classes. They have an entrepreneurial piece where some of the young people produce this thing called CD Nutty. It's like a healthy snack that that the young people created and they sell it out of there. So it really is just a project around food insecurity. So the idea is that nobody should ever be hungry. So that's what the food project is.
Your experience with
Yeah, so my experience is a little biased just because I'm used to, working with heartbeats and the culture that we have. And it's like, our culture is different. It's different. I'm not going to say that it's better or worse than any other organization that's working with young people, but it's different. And people recognize that it's different. And that's why people come to us when it's time that, have young people leading things because they know the type of culture and the type of young people that we have. And they actually approached me and asked me to come and do the training piece for their young people. So, and it's the Food Project in partnership with a professor from John Hopkins too. And she's the one who kind of had like the vision and everything for what it was supposed to be. Because what she was saying was, okay, it's cool that we addressing the need as far as food insecurity, but her thinking is now how can we put young people in a position to actually change the policy and influence some of the laws and regulations and stuff around it. So that's where she was like, I want to do a civic engagement class so we can educate young people and then put them at the tables. So take them to Annapolis, take them to City Hall and take them to other government spaces and put them at the table so that they can help inform these policies. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with it. So I'm like, you want me to recruit or whatever and all that, whatever. And she was like, no, we already got the kids. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm working with the kids and I'm like, well, can I at least let me just bring one of mine? Because the idea too was that after we teach this class, then they would teach the next classes. And it's paid opportunities and all that. But, I got to go with people that I know and trust. So thank God I brought Track Star to that situation. And this is no shade to nobody. And if one of y'all is listening or y'all hear this video, this ain't no shade to nobody. But everybody just not ready to serve in that capacity. And Track Star is the only one out of everybody in that group that the organizer was comfortable with saying, okay, she can lead a class. The only one, like no hesitation, no nothing. And I know Trackstar said, that I was shutting up or whatever. I really wasn't trying to, I was just wanting to make sure that, the other kids at least had an opportunity to speak and express their thoughts. But if you don't at least take that opportunity, then we got to go with who is ready. And Trackstar was just always ready. And it was just a clear demonstration of what we do. And so now what's going to happen is we're going to actually wrap up the class early because I don't believe in wasting my time. So it's probably next week when we do this class, it's probably going to be the last one that I do. And what we're going to do is Trackstar is going to lead the next class and Trackstar is going to be able to pick the kids who can be in that class. Now, it is a paid opportunity. It's not that much. I'll let her talk about all that. It's not that much, but you do get paid to learn, and there will be a project at the end where you are going to be working with government and state officials. And it's crazy because the kids who were in the program now, they were supposed to have this opportunity. But because they not ready, she like, nah. She like, we just going to wait. We just going to wait for the new class to start, and then we'll give the new class the project to be able to work with those city and government officials. And again, it's no shade to them. It's just, you know, they just ain't there yet. They ain't there yet. Yeah, please.
I feel like I don't think they actually wanted to do it. Like some people, like, I'm not gonna say no names, but like two other boys, I feel like they actually passionate about it because how they feel for the food project. But like some people, I feel like they were forced into it because they were doing the food project, whatever. So I feel like it was more of a forced thing. Like, do I really want to go to this class? Like, I don't feel like they felt passionate about it. And it's no shade, because everybody don't have the same reasons as everybody. Like, as I'm looking through the comments, like Lene and John and like people, that's just some of the names I'm saying, like that, like I feel like they will be passionate about it, and actually we will make a policy, like we'll maybe make like 5 policies when we're only supposed to make 1. So it's like you can't be forced into a class. Like, if they didn't want to do it, that's all they had to stay. But like, yeah, like some people, they're not dumb at all. They're really intelligent. It's just that it just don't interest them. And it's like, you can't make, like, what you cannot force nobody to do anything because they're not going to really do it and give their best. So it's like, yeah, like I want to be a lawyer. Like if you look at some of my old videos, I've been on politics. Like, I was like in 2nd grade, learning the 3 branches of the government, actually reciting it. Like, even though my mother would make me make the video, she knew that I was passionate about politics and making a change. So it's like yeah, like I posted a video before me saying it. Yeah, so stuff like that. Like, I've just been passionate. So it's just something you have to like make these policies and change the community. Like, if doing civic engagement is something that the government and the community have to do. It just can't be like, oh, the government just going to come into your community and they're going to force you to work with them to make everything better in the community. It has to be like, okay, let's meet halfway. All right, the government wants to make a change. We want to make a good change. Let's come together. Let's have these monthly meetings that making a policy, or monthly meetings like saying the problem, like the root cause and the symptoms of this problem, and how we about to change it by making this policy. Let's see, like, who actually cares about, like, what government actually cares about it. Because I'm not going to hold you. I've been living in Baltimore for who knows how long, and I have yet to know my city council person name. He came around there a couple times. I just be like, he'll come up to me. I'm like, who are you? Like, why are you coming up to me like this? And my mom would be like, oh, this is that. I'm like, you know them. I don't know them. So it's like it's kind of sad that, like, I don't know my city council person at all. Yeah. And I feel like that's a problem that we don't know. Like, some people don't know that city council person because you making policies for my community and I don't even know you. And if we look around all these kids that have been living around here for their whole lives, because I lived around my way my whole life, why don't we know you and you're making changes in our community?
Absolutely, I agree. We should definitely know. And I think a lot of times politicians are concerned with who can vote, right? So they focus on the adults way too much all the time. They not focused on, you know, people under the age of 18, like knowing who they are, knowing their faces and stuff. And I think I agree with you. That's not right. So yeah. Zion, you want to talk about, just to wrap us up, you want to talk about how people can join the class, all the logistics and payment and all that stuff?
Okay, so it's gonna be a weekly class, $20, right? Right. Okay, $20 each class. Basically, all you have to do to get the money is if I have to feel your passion. Like, I have to feel like, okay, I want to make a change in my community. I want to make a change everywhere. I have to feel that passion in you, like, and I want another thing is like, actually coming with something, like, not coming like, oh my gosh, another place. Coming like, okay, we got work to do. We got work to do to get in the city hall, to get in this Annapolis meeting this year. We have work to do. Like, okay, what we about to do in this 11-week class? Okay, we learned about this, learned about that. What is that supposed to do now? That's the goal I want to get. Like, we covered everything. Now let's get actually started. You know, because you have to get like the basis of everything before you actually go into a city. I don't want to invest myself. Go to a city council office and be like, go to the city council like, so we here for this and that. I have to be like, okay, this is the youth, we here, and we have a couple of policies that we want to be changed or we want to be made in Baltimore City. That probably can go throughout the nation. Like, and I want to feel like you want better, and also want better for yourself, because at the beginning of the class we talked about leadership, and that's what we have to do. Talk about leadership. How leadership gonna how do you know what leadership is to go into a city hall, and sit down with the mayor, sit down with the city council president, sit down with big people to make these changes. What else? I think I covered it.
Okay. And then, so how can people contact you to do it? Don't put your phone number out on here. Don't put your phone number out on here. Just how can people contact you to make sure that they get on the list so when it starts, they're ready?
Okay, I can put my Instagram. Okay, _KAI.LEIGH. That's my Instagram. And Ms. Joni just tagged me on something, so y'all can get it from there. Yeah, so y'all can get it from there. And when y'all text me, don't be like, can I join the class? Can y'all have a little madness, please? Because I will get mad. Like for real, because.
No, let me speak on that real quick, Zai, because I can't remember what it was. It might have been like a youth advisory board meeting or something. And and Miss Joni had posted like, contact, Zion, if you want the link or something like that. And here comes Zion in my phone. She talking about, Miss Morgan, these people are rude. Like, they can't say hi or nothing. They just asked me a flat out question. Like, can you join? So make sure y'all say hi and y'all greet people when you messaging them for stuff. Cause Zion really don't like that. She really got mad that day. But yeah. All right, Zion or Miss Joni, anything else that y'all want to talk about when it comes to the civic?
Yeah.
The one thing I do want to add too is for people who are going to be joining Track Stars class, also think about if you want to lead a class too, because the idea is to kind of keep it going and for as much of it to be as youth-led as possible. So I kicked it off, led the first one so that Track Star and the others could see, how it's supposed to be done, introduce them to the materials. But then my job is now to kind of hand it off so that she can lead, and you get a pay bump too when you are leading the classes.
Wait, I have a question. You said next week the last class?
Most likely, if I don't make it today when we get on. Yeah, I'm gonna either make it today or next week.
Oh.
Yeah, Cam. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Cam, you got the what you talking about, your Instagram?
No, I'm talking about what she was like, don't be like, can I get 4 smoothies? Be like, hey, how you doing? I like to put the order before smoothies.
Okay. Oh no, if you got your money ready, that's fine.
Just be conscious, y'all. Not that they not gonna fulfill what you asking for, but just be conscious. Be like, just hi. That's 2 letters. Hi, can I get the link? Hi, can I order
Yeah, right. That's just
No.
John. The
Yeah.
class won't start today. We ending the current class.
Yeah, the one today is at 3 o'clock. You think we should put Baby Dry on there? I'm not putting him on there because then he's gonna be dry like now.
Oh, all right.
I'm not putting him on there.
John, you really, John, I don't know. I don't know exactly. I wasn't there. I wasn't there to witness it. I just know.
You ain't gotta be there. I told you what happened.
I was just about to say, I just know what Miss Joni told me, and I trust that. I was getting there. You didn't even wait for it. But I'm just saying, you gotta redeem yourself. I feel like a lot of times over, because this is something that's stuck for like a week now. So make sure that you redeem yourself, honey.
But Nay, I might send you the link if you wanna join to see what it's about. But y'all just gotta know, like, we about to get ready to wrap this up. So if y'all do join today, you like, it's really gonna be like kind of getting ready to close out.
Just letting y'all know now, it's barely gonna be talking. It's gonna be silent for like 5 minutes.
Oh man. Okay. All right. Anything else?
I wish I would have had a recording so that y'all could hear it.
I kind of wish so too, because I really wanted, like, I don't know.
Miss Johnny be like,
I can't just imagine. I just can't imagine you like that. I'm sorry, Simon.
Yo, Chaos Smoothies was on the call, and you ain't hear her not one time say, like, come on, Miss Joni, he wasn't that dry. You ain't hear her say that one time, because she know.
I believe you. I don't want to believe it. Because John is always so, like, insightful and, like.
That's the same thing I thought. That's why I picked him for the project. I was fooled too.
All right, y'all. We gonna get up out of here. So Zaya, I'm gonna let you go last because you gonna end us off. My jewel is, like, don't be scared or overwhelmed with, like, these particular topics, because I feel like politics, like, and just, like, engagement on, like, a civic level can be intimidating sometimes, but it most definitely involves young people, and it most definitely involves, like, voices of young people. So don't let people tell you otherwise just because you can't, like, you might not be able to vote yet or something. It's absolutely okay, and you can absolutely be involved.
okay, I'm gonna build on what Ms. Morgan said. Dealing with politics, you're going to be intimidated because the government make the youth seem like they're wrong about stuff. So it's like when I went to Atlanta and it was just only me and Khalil, I was intimidated. Like, it's nobody here that look like me. So it's like, you're going to be intimidated, but you have to have that confidence in yourself. Like, I know what I'm talking about, and I'm a stand on it, no matter what you say or no matter what you say. I know why I came here, and I know what I believe in. So you have to stand your ground. Like, have to put that, like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. You're not about to make it seem like I don't know what I'm talking about in my own community, and you don't live in here. So basically, you have to have your confidence in everything that you do. You have to be like, you can't say you're scared. Like, even though you're scared, don't say you're scared, because it's going to show once you're scared. So don't be scared of nothing you do. If you believe in something, keep it going and just stand your ground.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Track Star. Thank you, Miss Money Mo.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, Zion. I'm so excited. So, all right, we out of here. See y'all.
All right, that's my Instagram.
Yeah.
All right, see y'all. Y'all, great session. I'm so proud of Track Star. Like, she is not exaggerating at all. Like, she is literally carrying that class. So shout out to her. Illmatic, I see you. Start recommending you for opportunities again. I got you. Okay, no problem. Just be ready, man. Just be ready. And for my people who have, like, some of the opportunities and you're doing a lot, like Cam said, I saw her put something in there that say self-care. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, like, in the process. I know I'm the last person that should be talking about that, but I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. But it is a good thing to, expose yourself and to build your network. So when opportunities and stuff like this do come along, being ready is absolutely key. Like, stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. And this is definitely a gateway to something bigger, and can be a gateway to something more influential if you want it to be. Like, it just blows my mind every week when I, come to this space and, I just see this opportunity being wasted. And I'm just like, yo, like, y'all don't even understand how big this is and how many people are waiting in the background just for you to be ready so that changes can be made, so that things can be done. So, but I'm excited though. I'm excited. Things are definitely going to be a lot better once we get some heartbeats up in there. Baby Drive, what you saying? We get ready for these days. Don't DM me, yo. Don't send me no little dry DMs, yo. Don't send me no little dry DMs. But what's the day, y'all? Tuesday? We done for the day. We done. We done had a great day, yo. Miss Simone blessed us as always. Mr. West came through and blessed our whole soul. Miss Money Mo and Track Star done took us out on a nice little tip. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, man. It's early. What y'all want to do? Do something productive. Find something productive to do. Again, if you are a business owner, or you run a business, or you know somebody that's a youth business owner and they serious, only people that's serious though, make sure you hit Coach Johnson up for that link tomorrow to be on his entrepreneur class, because Mr. Jeff, one of our partners, is going to be there, and he's going to be specifically looking for youth business owners because he wants to invest money. He wants to invest financially in youth business owners. I don't want these business owners that just say they got a business and all they got is a logo, but they ain't got no hard work behind it. They ain't got no discipline behind it. They ain't got no dedication behind it. They not really working on their business. I don't want those type of business owners. I'm talking about business owners who are working on their business day in and day out. And if a couple of dollars could help you with your business, then tomorrow, 4:15, that's where you need to be. And I gave Coach Johnson the list too of things that he's going to be looking to discuss in terms of like who you are, what your business is about, how much money would you like to request from him, and how would it help you to grow or build your business. So that's going to be that. Keon, what you mean how? Oh, you talking to Cam, how she broke her computer. Yo, that's crazy. Look, y'all need to be paying KR Smoothies for doing these promos at the end, because she always makes sure that she drop all of the business owners IGs. Yo, that's crazy. Y'all need to make sure y'all give her her coins. But look, man, y'all already know what it is, yo. You want to learn? This is where you start, yo. You want to grow? This is where you start. You want to be connected to other young people who are success-minded, to adults who are success-minded and want to see you grow, yo, this is where you start, yo. Success Sessions. This is it, man. This is it. And now that we got the countdown, man, yo, we about to be on 7 more days, yo. We got the countdown going on. But look, enjoy the rest of your day. Do something productive. And like my girl Cam said, yo, you don't want to be a broke bum. You tired of being a broke bum? Yo, this is where you start. All right, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Cam, I got you, yo. You definitely need that. I'll see y'all tomorrow. 10 o'clock, y'all. Success Sessions. Hey, Renee, you crazy, yo. No sessions, no peace. Bye. I'll see y'all tomorrow.